You really should have just gone live when they were talking about like unwrapping an Xbox akin to unwrapping a woman's. Oh, we're live.
Yeah, we can know where that is going. Chat's probably got opinions. Chat, do you prefer to see tits just out, or do you prefer the element of suspense and surprise of having them wrapped up like a birthday present?
Finding out about
this is why we're late, by the way. It was like having this argument.
It's always better as a gift wrap, man. Finding out.
I think Ron White said it best. He's like, after you've seen one pair of tits, you just kind of want to see the rest of them. It's true.
Yes.
Start a poll in the chat. Actually, there you go.
I think most of them have polls at this point.
Fuck Tron Aries. We don't need to talk about that. Talk about tits.
Oh, yeah, that's come out. But yes. Some things. One thing's released since we were last here. Tron Aries, yay!
Oh yeah, I'll pull up the thing. All right, that job. There we go.
I believe it is currently debuting at less than Morbius, which is
right
fantastic.
Here. Tron Aries earned $14.3 million in the film's domestic opening day, lower than Morbius. I don't know if it's. We will know tonight if its total was more than Morbius or not, but I'm gonna say no.
This poor guy.
Also got a B+ cinema score, which everyone who watches BSUP has heard me talk about cinema score at some point, and B+ is bad. B for bad, not good. Because the movie's not good.
Does cinema score have like a D or an F?
Oh, of course, but people are way too kind. That's why you got to kind of grade it on a scale. You know what I mean? Like normally the people being polled are the ones that were out opening night, really excited to see it. So normally those people are more forgiving. It's almost like the Taylor Swift fans that go and they want to enjoy it, so they give it an A because it was just it's just great because I really wanted to like it. Gotcha. That's kind of what cinema score does. So whenever I see anything lower than an A-, it's kind of like a bomb.
What did they give? What did they give Snow White? Because that's one of the few times I've seen a movie
good question.
Get honestly reviewed in terms of being shit.
Good question. Let's look up Snow White 2025 cinema score. Yeah, see, this is how good Tron Aries is. We're back to Snow White. Snow White also got a B+.
What?
Wow. Okay.
Well, that I told you that's not good. A B+ is not good.
But even with that, that's
Oh my God, Matt Cat! I was just thinking about you hitting on my girlfriend the other day.
What?
How are you?
Care to elaborate on that story?
I just saw him pop up in the chat, and I was like, "Oh my God, you had popped in my head about talking about how hot my girlfriend was." As if that wasn't appropriate. But
Cynic actually thinks about you when he's lying in bed with his girlfriend. That's what's happening.
Yeah, it's true.
That is so hilarious. Oh, hello. I remember when that was happening. I was like wondering what your thoughts are on this at the time.
It's like just let it roll, I guess.
But what can you do?
But Tron Aries. So I know a few people have seen it on the panel, a few people haven't. But and Reaper's dead. Apparently, he's gone.
He died.
Tron Aries killed him. There you go.
He's back.
There's a revelation about the Snow White score that just killed him.
Yeah, I think it's pretty accurate. Because at least if you grade cinema score on the score I do, and anything below an A- is just bad. And so take the Snow White result of a B+. Tron Aries got a B+. Snow White bombed at the box office. Tron Aries is going to bomb because it's not a very good film at all.
So is cinema score kind of like IGN, where anything below a 7 is terrible?
Right. Yeah. Yes. Actually, that's a great example. Yeah, it's a lot like IGN's 7 or death score.
I think the best scoring system probably is got to be like Steam reviews, getting the overwhelmingly positive or mixed reviews and this that. Like you get a good sense of what's what because gamers don't fuck around. Like they're gonna be objective, for the most part. But
Agreed.
with movies, I think maybe IMDb is that the most accurate one?
I think Metacritic is because it doesn't say anything above a 6 is good and anything below is bad. It actually gives you a real average score, and that's pretty fair.
Well,
like
and Rotten Tomatoes, you have to verify that you've bought a ticket, and who's going to go to all those steps to give a review? No one really cares that much.
Yeah.
Wait, are you serious? I need proof that I bought a ticket to review a movie?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Which was it? Because at first it was Captain Marvel. They changed it so only verified audience can do it. Then it was another girl boss movie that they changed the rules on it again.
I know they froze it for The Rise of Skywalker, didn't they? And they may have also frozen it for The Last Jedi. I can't remember. Like this, Rotten Tomatoes just fucks around. And then even then, it's like if anyone reviews it and gives it above, is it 60%? It counts as certified fresh. So it's like, well, actually, it's not 84% of the audience says that the movie's really good. It's that 84% of the audience apparently gave it above 60%. So it can still be fucking awful.
It's so crazy. A 6, if everyone rated a movie 6 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes, it would be 100%.
Yep.
Which is everyone agrees that it's mid.
Right, but to the regular film goer that just sees the Rotten Tomatoes score, it fools you into thinking, oh wow, it got like a B+. Isn't that
That's
amazing?
it. That's all it takes. Oh, it's 100% fresh. Something about that tomato just blinds people where they don't really care about the criteria that they're using.
It's why I just never look at any of them. Like, unless I've heard there's a massive disparity, or like there's some interesting change, like between critic scores and audience scores, or a movie comes out and it debuts at 0% until Grace Randolph sees it and then it goes up. Like that's the occasion in which like I will occasionally look at Rotten Tomatoes or any review score, but otherwise I just tend to just ignore them. I mean, it's like sometimes it's interesting to know what the studio predicts its own box office is going to be. So like I know Tron Aries is performing about a third less than they were anticipating it to. They wanted it to do much, much better than it did. And that's kind of a story, right? But otherwise, it just doesn't. I'm just not interested. I'd rather just watch the movie and make up my own mind.
Why do you think it's doing a lot less? Do you think it's Jared Leto? Because that was what put me off after seeing the trailer. Because the effects look great, all of that looked amazing, and then I saw Jared Leto and I went, "Oh."
I think they were overestimating the anticipation and the eagerness for it. I mean, like none of the last two movies did particularly well. They all did like okay, but they didn't really recoup very much money. Legacy sort of, and they've both built up a cult following, and that doesn't translate to a media opening day release very often. This movie won't even do that though, because obviously, like all the initial word of mouth basically said, "Oh, looks great, 9 Inch Nails are amazing, see it in IMAX for the effects, story's kind of shit, but you know." And then all the honest people who saw it said, no, none of that's true, and the story is even worse than shit. It's really awful. So the word of mouth for this movie is terrible. So combine, lack of anticipation, Jared Leto, and people just telling the truth about what this movie is, which is horrible. And no one was looking for it. It's just a bad movie, and it's performing badly.
It opened to $33 million estimated so far, and Morbius opened to $39 million.
Like just to add on to what Platoon was saying as well, like because the way I've always seen the Tron movies is like they were just like passable stories, but like the big appeal was always the visuals of it, right? And I'm thinking something like Tron Aries, visual spectacles aren't really a reason to go to the movies anymore now that like everything it just majorly uses right. And like we've had the Apes trilogy since, which is like the peak for mocap. We have the Avatar movies coming out on a yearly basis now. So like just on that alone, why would I want to go see Tron Aries with a cast that I don't even know?
Right. In addition
for?
to that, Tron Aries spends the majority of the film in the real world, which is it does the Matrix Revolutions thing where like we see a Matrix movie because we want to spend time in the Matrix, but most of Revolutions took place in the real world, and so does Tron Aries.
So you said the Matrix Revolution thing, and I'm like, this could be like 3 or 4 different things that we fucked up so many different aspects.
Well,
right?
yeah,
but I know what you mean. The human.
Like it's probably worse in the case of Tron though, because like even more so than the Matrix, there is such a huge immediate visual divide between what Tron is and how it's identified. Tron is the grid. That is the appeal of Tron. It's such a like unique identifying sign. Nothing else really looks like Tron. So to find out that you don't just spend the majority of the time in the real world in this movie, you spend, I think it's under 10 minutes in total on the grid in a Tron movie, and Tron isn't even in the Tron movie. So why is this a Tron movie? Like what is there interesting about it?
Advertisements. That's it.
Someone had informed me that this movie basically went through development hell. So, like, after Legacy, they were supposed to make Tron Ascension, which was a direct sequel to that, same cast and everything. Jared Leto had actually tried out for a role in that movie. And I don't know if they just had him on standby until this finally came out. But then when Disney bought Lucasfilms, that sequel was just put on the back burner indefinitely. And only then during, I think it was like 2020 or 2022, sometime then, after like years of scripts and whatnot, then they're just like, oh, let's put this back into production and we'll put Jared in here because I don't know, old cast isn't relevant anymore, some shit like that. So perhaps that explains a lot of things.
It was kind of funny how in the intro it just says Sam Flynn came up the company and fucked off somewhere. And that's it. He's just gone.
He resigned for personal reasons, and that's literally all you get.
That sounds like a scandal, like he felt someone up or something.
I love how the movie's just corporations versus corporations, and it's so on the nose. Like one corporation builds evil things, and the other ones build plants and life and shit.
Yeah, that's like this is all in the intro as well. The intro tells you there's nothing interesting in the movie. It's like you have the monologue or like from Kevin Flynn who's talking about bringing stuff from the grid to the real world in the future, and then you have like a montage of AI news reports who get loads of the facts wrong, because obviously they're news people and also they're AI. But they just basically tell you, yeah, that there's evil company run by evil tech billionaire kid, Julian Dillinger, versus lovely good tech company run by literal girl bosses. And they want to use AI to fix disease. Which do you back? Well,
and
I think
the evil guys wear red.
Yeah,
red's bad. And the nice guys wear white later on.
So that means Jared Leto, the lead character, is a antagonist? He's a bad guy?
He starts off like he's trained he's created by Dillinger Systems and Julian Dillinger to be their ultimate weapon on the grid. Like he's the ultimate warrior fighting program, and he fights for them. But in his first scene in the movie, he goes and like it starts raining, and he goes and stands out in the rain in the real world, and it's like, I'm feeling a sensation. And then like immediately, you know where this is going. He's developing feelings, and this is going to turn him good. But he does it incredibly cheaply. So like the guy who's in charge and the guy who made him, the villain, never really seems to notice that this is happening to him. Like his major AI program is obviously malfunctioning, but he doesn't really give a fuck. And then back in the grid, like he has to go and hack into the NCOM grid to like look at the personal data file of the girl boss. And he just stands in a data stream and watches news reports about her and simps, and that's the final straw. And then he turns simp hero, and then now he's good.
Although it's very confusing because when he's chasing her in the real world after that, because evil guy can 3D print his creations into the real world, but they only last for 29 minutes at a time. So he sends Aries, Jared Leto's character, after Eve, good girl. And he seems pretty hell-bent on capturing her to the point where he's like, he looks evil, like he's willing to almost willing to kill her in order to do it. Then not 5 minutes later, after they pull her into the evil grid, he's willing to sacrifice it all in order to save her. It's like a few minute turnaround.
And the difference between those two scenes is that like he's about to de-res because he's at his 29-minute limit, and she looks at him and he looks back at her, and little thing on his HUD flashes up and it says empathetic response. And this proves that she likes him, and now he's going to turn good and commit like treason for her.
Yeah, he's ready for it now.
But that Julian Dillinger, he keeps basically saying, "What am I?" And he goes, "You're a slave that does what I want. Go fuck yourself." It's like he tries everything he possibly can to make Aries rebel.
You are a soulless creation. You are expendable. If you die, I'll just make a new one. But then he sort of notices at one point that something seems to be going wrong with Mr. Leto, because he notices that he's having feelings and that he seems to be simping. And then he just says, "I'm going to find these emotions and tear them out of you. Anyway, get back to work." And it's like, fucking, obviously he's going to betray you. What are you doing?
Oh, jeez. As someone who doesn't know anything about Tron, this just sounds like lazy sci-fi. Just
so bad, yeah. Like
riffing off like other concepts that were fleshed out well. Yeah, and I hate to say it because it's recency bias, but this is kind of reminding me of Alien Earth, fucking around with cool concepts that could be very interesting, but then not actually fleshing them out properly.
And
So
being an
kind of
idiot plot in the same way. And it has functionally the same villain because
Wow.
Hollywood has, I'm probably going to do a little second channel video on this because it's pissing me off. Hollywood has this sort of like Elon Musk derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
Because it hates tech bros and it doesn't understand tech bros. And so it portrays all of them. Like Boy Cavalier is basically the same character as Julian Dillinger in this movie, portrays all of them as nepotistically chosen moron children who are somehow in charge of multi-billion. They've lucked into their positions. This is what Hollywood thinks billionaire tech people actually do.
Yeah.
And it results in the worst villainous characters. They're worse than old billionaire Hollywood villains used to be, because at least they sort of understood how cynical businessmen used to operate. But they're so intent on just shitting on the tech bros that they make an embarrassment of their own movies in doing so, because they just don't even engage with the world they're trying to depict.
I was making the same point on just real quick. I was making the same point on Niet stream of this guy Boy Cavalier's Elon. So they fuck him up, make him stupid when he's supposed to be intelligent. And then Dracoff and Black Widow Weinstein, he's literally has to be intelligent, or how the hell did Black Widow learn any of this shit? And they still make him an idiot just to make their point. And then Trump with Kingpin in Born Again, and there's probably several examples that I'm not even really aware of, right? So it's just this pattern that's come so often. It's so frustrating when you understand the context and the characters that they're ruining to make this stupid point, you know, particularly with Kingpin, because we see the comparison in season 1.
Well, all these villains are written to look into their positions because that's how most people in Hollywood get their jobs. Like James Gunn's brother and his wife, they got them because of nepotism, nothing else.
Yep.
And also, it's like we keep seeing these constant tropes like the Wakanda problem, where they're so amazing, but yet they have to be retarded to lose. It's like Julie, like this film, he's got a 3D print. He could literally print out a fucking, what's that giant ship at the end?
Oh, the recognizer, yeah.
He can literally make anything with that 3D printer, and like they just can't capture one slow-moving woman.
I know, and the 29-minute timer, I was bitching about it before the stream started too, which is just like, it breaks the movie fundamentally. In my review, I think I spent 5 minutes just bitching about this timer, because you have to capture the woman and bring her back to the base. So they have a 29-minute round trip to make. And after the evil girl's first defeat in trying to accomplish this, everything they have is mobile. The laser gun thing they were using is mobile. They're on all laptops. Like, we see this being brought in by hand and by one guy. So at any time after this woman's first defeat, they could easily just fucking move further away. Just move further away, and it completely destroys anything they want to do because they're just perpetually out of reach. But that just doesn't happen at any point in the movie. Not one person's like, maybe we should fucking, I don't know, move.
But that's the thing, that because like from the villain's point of view, they shouldn't even be using it's Mother Anusai from The Acolyte, who's like the antagonist proper in the movie. They don't even need to be using her. She has the 29-minute limit. The normal employees of Dillinger Systems do not. And earlier in the movie, there's a really, really stupid bit where Plan A is like, so he's shown his technology to the government. The government knows exactly what it looks like. There's no plausible deniability then when he decides, well, we have to hunt down Eve Kim, the girl boss. I know, let's send some really distinctive bright red light cycles to go and hunt her down through the city. So obviously this is going to come back and hit him eventually. But the plan B is just, hey, why don't we send a normal dude in a helicopter with a portable laser gun? And that works. And you could do that later in the movie, and it would also have worked. So he chooses the worst possible options, even over the ones that he has available to him. It's just absurd.
But even when Tron and Aries and Eve escape the grid, they like get 3D printed into reality, and there's only 2 security guards with no guns to stop them in his warehouse where his top secret technology is. It's so retarded.
And the answer, Vex, is yes. That is the fucking entire thing. They need to snatch one woman off the street, and they constantly fail at this process, by the way. And then the film forgets, they get this, whatever the fuck you called it, Platoon. I called it the sloth machine because it was slow as fuck.
Yeah,
it was this giant,
the slowest thing in the world.
It was the slowest thing in the world, and they have 29 minutes to make this round trip. And they developed this incredibly slow moving device, and the film forgets how long 29 minutes is. And they have time to fly the sloth into the city, have a full-on fucking war with the military. They capture the woman. They even have time to lose the woman, and then Evil Girl has time to lose a fight against Aries and have like her send-off death all in 29 minutes. It's fucking absurd.
There's a bit where like the giant recognizes thing. I mean, it is huge and it moves at like 2 miles an hour. And earlier in the movie, they only just make it from one place to the other when they're speeding across a bridge at like 80 miles an hour. And this thing does 4 miles an hour. But there's a bit where like a plane crashes into it, and then it slowly crashes into a skyscraper, and it like the debris just knocks her out. Then it falls over, then it falls onto the floor, and then out of that thing comes a tank, and then out of the tank comes the villain. And it's just like, why didn't you just take the fucking tank? It's evidently a better fucking vehicle. It's faster and stronger.
Well, do we even talk about how Aries becomes Aries the White when he meets Jeff Bridges?
Oh God,
yes, because he's good now, so he turns his costume to white.
Yeah, so you might remember at the end of Legacy, Jeff Bridges blows himself up to save the grid and save his son. Because I know the tech demo stuff is the bit that people tend to be most excited about with Tron, but like both the old movies do have a point. The first one is kind of pay on to free and open exchange of information, you know, like free and open internet campaign. It's quite utopian. Second one is very much, you know, be careful in progress that you don't miss what's right in front of you. Actually, it's a movie about family, and then he sacrifices himself to save his son. He explodes at the end of that movie on a different grid. At the end of this movie, Jared Leto goes to... Okay, fucking how do we even explain this? Right, let's go a couple of steps back. The thing they need in this movie to break the 29-minute limit is something called the permanence code that Flynn discovered before he disappeared in 1989 and just did nothing with. He left it on a floppy disk. They find it on a floppy disk. She puts it on a USB. Then to hide it from people, she breaks the USB and throws it in the river. But because she's seen it, she still has it in her. But they can't get it out of her without killing her. But then it turns out there's a spare version of the floppy disk, and it's on Flynn's private server, which is still in the Encom offices. So Jared Leto uses a laser to go to the old original 80s grid where he meets some weird fucking ancient version of Jeff Bridges,
Lebowski.
which can't be the one from Legacy because he blew up somewhere else. And he's like, dude...
Oh,
here's my code, man.
It's the code,
he goes
man.
Like, I'm only here because you're here. And it's like Aries doesn't have any idea who the fuck he is.
No. I don't have any idea who he is because like he can't exist. Why is he so old? Why is he there? Why and then they just have a chat about how good Depeche Mode is, and he's like, fine, have
He's
my
like,
spare
man, I really
permanence
like
code.
them, man. Here, just have it. That's a bummer, man. You can have the code.
You think it's going to be like maybe they'll get into like a philosophical argument about reality or free will or something, and it just Depeche Mode is as good as Mozart.
Yep,
that's literally it.
How is the soundtrack compared to the last one?
It might work on its own. I think it probably works better on its own. It really doesn't help this movie at all.
Gotcha.
Whereas like Daft Punk with Legacy managed to like they identify what's happening in the movie and they tailor the soundtrack to actually convey the emotional beats the movie's aiming for. And it's just a brilliant soundtrack as well as a brilliant album on its own. This one, like Nine Inch Nails are just doing their own thing, really. There's no themes as such. There's no character themes. It's not particularly emotional. It's just, hey, this sounds cool. Let's put it in the film. This sounds cool. Let's put it in the film. Oh, this sounds cool too. Let's put it in the film. And it's really loud. And it's all kind of just happens behind the scenes, and then like it almost lulls you into sleep because it doesn't relate to what's happening on screen.
If you are blind and in desperate need of sleep, you might enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
What about the visuals? Isn't that the big selling point with this movie? Do they hold up?
No, because again, it's all set in the real world, isn't it? So there's not a huge amount. You spend less than 10 minutes on the grid, or the grids, because there's now fucking hundreds of them. But less than 10 minutes overall are spent on grids of any kind. So you don't really get much of the signature Tron look. And when you do, it's relatively cheap, I think, compared to Legacy. Legacy obviously has a fully realized grid. We're spending all our time there. And then the director, Kaczynski, brought in architects to design it. And like it was designed to be Flynn's idea of the perfect system. So it's all supposed to cohere and make sense. This one, you spend a couple of minutes in the Dillinger evil grid, and it's just random squares with lots of red, and it looks evil. Yep. And then you go to the Encom one, and it's just random squares with lots of blue, and it looks nice. So
I love
that
to
looks pretty
show that they are the good people. She develops a fucking tree, a fruit tree. I thought that was just lovely.
Huh?
We're the good people to show that they're good, like the good company. When she 3D prints something, instead of developing an evil AI robot that kills people that sell to the military, she develops a tree, a fruit tree of some kind, like an apple tree.
It's an orange tree because it's a
An
reference
orange
to the
tree.
original movie. There's loads of those. They throw in these Easter egg things which have no bearing on the plot, but because they were said or shown in the first movie, they think that will be cool. So in the original movie, the thing they use to prove the technology that gets you from the real world onto the grid is they like digitize an orange. So in this movie, they make an orange tree in the Alps, as you
Lovely.
do. Then they drink orange juice. And then there's some lines like there's a
Is it
character in
3?
this movie who he's just comic relief dude. He's only in scenes to tell awful fucking jokes that break the tone of the scene. But he just like randomly comes out with lines from the first movie that make they don't have any bearing on what he's doing. In the first movie, when Flynn's piloting the recognizer and like it's really difficult, and then he's a pro gamer, and so like he said, it's all in the wrist, he says, as he's manipulating the joystick. In this movie, comic relief guy says it's all in the wrist. And then he presses a button with his finger. Like, what?
I can't explain to you how stupid this movie sounds to someone who doesn't know anything about Tron.
But
Like, what the hell are they doing?
There's like conversations where, because the characters have absolutely no chemistry between them. Like Aries and Eve are having a conversation about being human, and Eve goes, "You know, being a human is hard work," and that's
Yep.
it.
There's
And
things
there's-
like loss and love.
Right,
Oh.
and that's explicit in the dialogue as well. Like I think you pointed out Platoon on a fucking Twitter post, actually, the
I might
long
find it
bout
again.
of dialogue during the drive that they're
It's so
taking.
good.
And during this drive, he's just reciting all of this. Aries is reciting to Eve, the good girl, all of the shit that he creeped on her about because he read all of her
Yeah.
private messages and everything. So it's just like it's puking all of the character development out at you. It's not even development. It's just like, this is the character's background. Blah.
This is the stuff we spoke about in the writer's room, and we couldn't think of how else to actually put it in the film. But yeah, it's because he looks at her file, so he's seen all of her texts while he's simping on her and becoming a hero. He reads all her private texts and information and sees all her sex and all the rest of that shit. I can't believe this is like the fourth time I have to do this because I posted it on Twitter. I've recited it in full on EFAB. It's going to be in full in the video. And I'm going to do it again here because it's so gloriously awful. So while they're driving at high speed across a bridge on a life and death race against the clock mission, Aries turns to Eve, the protagonist, kind of, who has no personality whatsoever. And he says in full, this is an unbroken exchange. For the record, I don't think you have anything to be ashamed of. Space Paranoids has entertained hundreds of millions, plus it's a pretty cool game. Anyway, you told your sister that designing games left you feeling hollow, broken. Was it that your work was about entertainment and profits and her work was about improving the human condition? Your text suggests a certain fixation with not being able to live up to her standards, which must have been complicated, especially considering she was the younger sister. By the way, I don't think you should quit. Your plan upon returning from the mountains, if I read you correctly, was to hand over the permanence code to NCOM and then let them figure out what to do with it next. Now I understand. You completed her work as a way to stay connected to her because her sister died off screen in the prologue. So
what?
That is actually one-to-one quote, word for word. That is in the film while driving a Honda Civic at 90 miles an hour across the bridge.
Oh, it's Disney. You know, absolute nonsense. Like this, what else can you expect from this company at this point?
It's totally fine because he's AI, right? And that's what they totally do.
I'm still hung up on the 29 minutes to catch a bitch like device or whatever. Like,
dude, it's the entire crux of the movie because they just drive this point home that they have 29 minutes, but 29 minutes could be fucking 3 hours in this movie, or it could be 2 minutes. Who knows?
Oh my goodness.
And the thing is, as well, all of that's redundant because when they build the orange tree up in the fucking Alps or wherever they are, there's a problem here because later in the movie it's explained that even though she destroyed the backup copy of the code she had on her USB stick, because she's seen it, that is in her. Like the things that you see are in you. Well, when Aries is tracking her down, he spots the orange tree, which presumably also has the code in it because it has to be permanent. And also, it's right next door to the silo where the floppy disk is, which has the server code on it, which still has the code on it. So he doesn't even need to be chasing her down, except that the movie thinks that he does. And then, like, she drives off on a motorbike on her own, even though, well, no, actually, there's more retardation beforehand. So Dillinger hacks the NCOM grid and causes like a massive security breach. NCOM knows this is a security breach. They phone Eve and say, hey, there's been a massive security breach. So what does she do? Over an unsecured line, she says, well, that's fine because I've got the permanence code and I'm landing here and I'm going to be home in like 20 minutes. So just come find me. So this is what you do when you know your systems have been hacked. You just tell people you have the most important item in the universe and expect the enemy not to come looking for you. And then she doesn't even arrange an escort. She just drops off, lands on her own motorbike and drives on her own.
Yeah,
and then,
she's in a private jet. She could have just changed airports.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Well, she could have printed. She's now got the permanence code and the laser that can print everything. She could have printed a fucking personal helicopter and just landed on top of NCOM Tower. But she didn't think to do that because it wasn't time for that in the movie yet.
And then they have a giant high-speed chase in the city with like 5 people on bikes. And then she manages to throw one off and then hack the bike because of course she does. And then has a one-on-one race with Aries.
And there's a really funny bit as well where Mother Anus Eye from the Acolyte, like she gets knocked off her light cycle. Like she falls to the bottom of a multi-story car park and there's a really long winding road. And then Eve looks out and like the body's gone. And then she looks up and then it's like the Monty Python bit in Holy Grail where the guards look up and he's running at them in the distance. And then they look and he's still running at them in the distance. The villain is now running really slowly in a huge loop, slowly up the fucking road, trying to get back. And it's just like, it's so funny and you can't take it seriously. And she's supposed to be like the proximate antagonist in the movie. It's the worst way to make her seem threatening. It's just hilarious.
And I was going to ask if any of the performances are worth it or hold up.
No.
And then you mentioned Mother Anastasia for the Acolyte. Like, okay, no way. Oh,
they're kind of memeable in that they're really awful. Eve Kim, I can't remember the actress's name. She is just terrible. I know Gary said on Twitter it was like one of the worst things ever, and so you would see something better in fucking Christmas plays for children. Like she's so bad. And then Leto just doesn't really act. He just has a weird nebulous half smile on his face the entire time through the movie. And then he gave an interview basically saying that he wasn't even playing a character really, so it was a challenge for him.
Oh, he said he got prepared by talking to ChatGPT and basically just emulated it.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
And what did that produce? A smirk? Like that's it. This is why people give Arnie so much like shit as like saying he's a crappy actor. I think what he did with T2 and T1 was fantastic. And looking back at so many other people's performance as like some type of AI or robot, I think there's a lot to appreciate. And that he just didn't get the credit back then. But like, yeah, everything you guys have told me about this movie sounds like just dog shit, lazy sci-fi slop.
It is,
and yeah.
And then the conclusion, because like, at the end of Legacy, Cora is the ISO who has the code that can potentially, revolutionize all of humanity. And then, Flynn sacrifices himself to save his son, and his son takes her back to the real world. And so obviously the open-ended question for the sequel to explore is how does she transform the world, if at all? This movie just says, nah. Like they disappeared at some point. Now there's a new person who's going to do that, and that new person is Aries. But then it ends with him saying, "You know what? I don't think the world is ready for me yet. So yeah, fuck it. No, we'll wait for the sequel to like answer the question this sequel was supposed to solve that was posed in the last sequel that didn't even answer it." So what a terrific film.
I have a question.
There's no Tron in this Tron movie.
Yep, no Tron at all.
No Tron.
Isn't there a picture of Olivia Wilde at the very end of it?
Right at the end. Yeah, he says, I might transform the world. I have a feeling I'm not alone in having my feelings. And there's a picture of her and Sam from the previous movie, but like that's it. 2 mentions.
No, Sam isn't there. It's just Olivia Wilde.
I think one of the photos has.
No, they're both there.
Right? Oh, because I thought it was just a one shot of her, but she looked older.
There's 2 photos he holds up, and one is that photo, and then the one behind it's like a newspaper clipping of Sam and her together.
What's up, Vex?
Sorry. So what's the point in because like I understood why Tron Legacy was called Tron Legacy. Why is this called Aries? How does the film justify it?
His name is Aries.
That's it.
Yep. There's a bit they do a bit when there is 4 minutes left of Aries' 29-minute life cycle. And so you'd be thinking this is where tension's supposed to ramp up. They have an extended comedic elevator beat where him and Eve and Comic Relief Dude are just standing listening to elevator music. Comic Relief Dude says, Aries, right? Like the Greek, like the god of war? And Aries says, yeah. Then Comic Relief says, oh, cool, so you're Greek. That's great.
What?
And then that's it.
Riveting.
And then they get out of the elevator and Aries says 3 minutes till de-resolution. What is the toad supposed to be at this point of the film? I don't understand.
But there's another bit where Athena in her bike, airplane, jet bike, whatever, flies into the thing and she can't kill Eve. And then she feels that little bit of water and goes, feelings, and then just de-reses.
Didn't she and all of them fall into water while they were in the grid? So like,
well, I mean, they fall into the grid water, which is slightly different because it's made of cubes.
Whatever. Okay.
So it's not the same. It is incredibly damaging to the movie in a very different way, though, because so Ares obviously develops his humanity. His first exposure to feelings is the rain. And then you get this beat where the villain also experiences water falling on her from sprinklers, but sprinklers, rain, basically the same thing. This opens the possibility that with a bit more time and a bit more experience, she too, and by implication every other program on the Dillinger Systems grid, could go from being evil to being good. They are redeemable by experience because they all have the capacity for feelings and emotion. So, what is the plan to solve the problem? I know, let's go nuke the Dillinger grid. They established that all of these people are redeemable and they are capable of feelings and emotions and could become good, and then they go and kill them all, and it's presented as a heroic victory.
Yep. Well, there's also the thing of, I liked how Athena, even though she starts feeling emotions, gets reprinted into reality, and then her mother gets in the way, Dillinger's mother, and he just stabs her.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. Yeah, like Dillinger's mother goes, stop this, you're being a retard. And then Athena just turns around and stabs him and goes, nothing is going to get in the way of our mission.
You told me to do it by any means necessary.
Yep.
And so I killed Gillian Anderson for you.
I killed your mother.
I killed Scully for you. I feel like the movie thinks it's saying something about AI and how it can, if you give it a command, it'll go at any lengths to complete it or whatever. It thinks it's doing something, but it's really not.
No, it isn't. Like the previous two movies do have a point to them. This one doesn't. Like it occasionally has lines that make you think it's trying to say something. It isn't. It's lying.
Well, Dillinger system is a bunch of slaves because remember when they're infiltrating NCOM systems and there's that one injured program left behind, whatever his name was, and then they all die when that system gets nuked by Dillinger, and then they get reprinted and he goes, where's that guy I saved? He goes, he was useless. He didn't deserve to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was deleted.
So they are literally just slaves on a motherboard. And they get nuked by the good guys.
And yeah, the guy who gets killed, as has been pointed out in chat, it is Cal Kestis, the actor for the Star Wars Jedi games. It's Cameron Monaghan, he's not a bad actor, and he's in the opening credits. And so you think, I wonder what kind of role this guy's going to have. He's dead inside 15 seconds, and you never see him again.
And didn't he say he had to work out for like months for this tiny, tiny role that he ended up having?
I get the sense they originally had him in the film longer, and all of that got cut.
That must be
I don't
so
think you introduced him in that way. You didn't even need to take his helmet off in that scene to make the point the movie did make, but they did take his helmet off to show you this is who it is. It's an actor. You might even recognize him. And then he's gone.
Do you think in the original script his death was going to be the point where Ares starts to turn instead of the water?
That would make sense. I would have liked. Well, I would have liked a lot of things for this movie to be better, but one would be more nudging of him towards his humanity. Would be.
Hold on, nice. You're telling me that the robot gets to feel because of water instead of someone dying?
It's water kicks it off,
yeah,
and then he reads some texts and he simps for Eve in like her private memory file, as opposed to somebody dying.
Yeah, that friend
and he really likes Depeche Mode.
And he really likes Depeche Mode. There are 2 Depeche Mode conversations in this movie.
There are.
There's not that many conversations in the entire thing, and 2 of them are Depeche Mode.
Jesus.
And so not only did this open lower than Morbius, it had a way bigger budget because it's Disney. It had I just looked it up, a $180 million budget. Of course it fucking did. They gave a $180 million budget to a sequel to a film that only made $400 million in 2010. Yep.
Yeah, this isn't something like a Marvel film that's got this crazy built-in fan base.
Right.
It's crazy in 2025. This is something that they would do. It's just too risky.
It's too late.
Yeah.
And where is Jared Leto ever shown to be a box office draw ever?
Yeah. Ever. His reputation over the last few years has just been shredded completely. It's where you kind of expect this type of quality now.
Deadline was reporting the box office, and on Saturday they said, oh, the reason that this movie is doing bad is because the pandemic is still lingering on the box office.
Oh, get the fuck out of here,
Except when it doesn't, right?
You're a couple years too late for complaining about that shit.
Did the pandemic stop Lilo and Stitch making over $1 billion, or Deadpool and Wolverine making $1 billion?
Or go further back than that. Like,
how about Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah, exactly.
2021.
Yeah, No Way Home was the one that just shredded that theory because
$2 billion.
If you can make the money in this time period, then it's just an excuse, you know. It depends on the film. Not everything is going to be $1 billion film. Like Lilo and Stitch didn't deserve to make that amount of money, but to be making the COVID excuse now is absolutely pathetic. Like everyone should know the difference.
The Lilo and Stitch is the interesting comparison because there is people have said that this is just a garbage, bullshit, pointless movie, which it is. But it's kind of the subtext in it's going to end up being the text of the video, the short-ish video I do on this movie. Actually, this is just Lilo and Stitch without the recognizable branding. It's the same basic impetus, same level of creation, same level of inspiration and imagination. It takes an old thing and it sucks sort of the soul out of it, and then it puts it on the screen. And the only difference is that Lilo and Stitch has a really recognizable cute monster in it, and this doesn't. But it's a perfect Disney movie in that respect. It's not an aberration. This is what Disney is. When you don't have the confusing element of a very, very much loved IP to plunder, this is what you're left with. It's same. It's equivalently empty. It's just, it's actually suffering for it. Whereas Lilo and Stitch didn't, because everybody likes the little monster dude.
That's why I still want to see you. I legitimately want to see you watch Mulan 98 and then Mulan 2020 back to back. I want to see the
still
horror.
Need to do that.
I really think it's like a missed opportunity there. It's just, I can see you making a video even if it's way out of date, because that is the big one. Lilo and Stitch, like Snow White was boring and frustrating, but Lilo and Stitch was insulting once you really get a sense of what they destroyed thematically there. It still can't top Mulan for me, because it's special kind of piece of shit with that movie right there for sure.
Dang.
But overall, the pattern of not understanding what made the original work and just butchering it by injecting their new themes and the new concepts, it's pretty frustrating to watch.
Well, what is it called? Skin suiting, where they basically insert their story in the they insert their story into the franchise rather than actually trying to adapt what the franchise is supposed to be.
It's frustrating. And if you have the talent to, there's certain themes and elements you want to incorporate, go ahead. That's what storytelling is all about. But if you're butchering what originally worked in order to shove your shit in, which isn't even effectively portrayed, then nobody wins. We all just have to sit there like, what the fuck was the point of this? None of it makes any sense. Like Mulan, the commander being a pussy, just breaks their entire relationship, which was so strong in the first film,
Well, he's so split into two characters. There's the romantic interest who's beneath her, and then there's the captain who's above her authority, because a man having authority over a woman and being in a relationship is seen as like, I don't know, sexual assault or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. And one of the biggest scenes, if I was to just sum up Disney in like one scene, it would be the bucket training scene in Mulan, where she's training with the bucket. She's not strong enough and she gets knocked down. So the commander picks up both his and hers, gives her the look, and then walks up. And she feels defeated because she's not as strong as the rest of the men. So she has to use her brain to overcome these challenges. In the 2021, she's just stronger than everyone. And everyone's looking up in amazement at the great Mulan. It's like, it's so fucking frustrating when you understand the point of the character. She's just stronger than everybody, and her whole journey is everyone else.
There's a lot to get into because the introduction of Chi and shit, but
I forgot the Chi.
You should watch it back to back.
Oh my god, the Chi! Yeah, honestly, I said all that without even remembering the Chi. Reaper that's a whole other. That's what the Chi is, like the black goo for Prometheus. Just like, what are you doing? Like, why is this here? just a stupid something that they incorporated into the franchise that didn't need to be there. But yeah, Platoon, you need to.
I will do that at some point. Yes.
Yeah.
In other news, Peacemaker wrapped up its second season and apparently final season.
Yeah, it sucked.
Moving into the whatever the next show is, which carries it on, is not going to be called Peacemaker. It's going to be something else.
Well, James Gunn said he's adapting the Salvation storyline from DC, which is basically a bunch of villains are put on a prison planet, and they either decide to stay there and rule or find a way back. So that's what it's supposed to be moving into. Like, he's adapting some of the Salvation comic.
So we have another universe prison, just like Superman. We're doing it again. Yay. Made so much sense that first time we did it.
I didn't realize that this was a Peacemaker slide when you sent the slides over, and I really thought that I thought it was part of a Taylor Swift music video because you were so triggered over that.
But it is a music video, but it isn't Taylor Swift. Most of this final episode was music video.
Yep.
Ew.
Well, this slide's annoying because for all season, these people have been arguing and crying and just being assholes to each other. Then they all get into one hotel room, have one conversation, everyone cries, and now they're completely over all their problems. One conversation. Like, Peacemaker's going, everyone around me dies, and they're like, no, they don't, and then he's happy. Then he goes to hardcore. Hey, do you like me? And she finally goes, yeah, and then he starts dancing in his room, even though he was suicidal 5 minutes before. Oh, it's just the character work in this is atrocious.
There kind of aren't really any characters in it. I mean, they're just sort of gimmicks. They each have a thing.
Yeah.
They all speak exactly the same. Every other word is fuck for every single character.
Yeah.
But like, you have autistic ninja kid, you have slightly sassy black lesbian, you have John Cena being John Cena, and then you have evil bitch hardcore and then you have like sullen, depressed fat doofus, and then you have small gay midget twink, and then like cheerful black employee guy, and like they're so empty. There's no character in them.
It's the slightly sassy black lesbian trope that just kills me. It's so funny because I'm looking at this picture like, I bet that's exactly what she is. The Minecraft chick, before we even see her, that's what she's gonna be. It's all they can do.
Same character.
It's all they can do. The sassy black, slightly funny black lesbian who's always quirky and chubby, and then the tough chick with the side haircut who's fucking jacked and like masculine. It's all they can fucking do, man. It's pathetic at this point.
Like, that girl on the far right really only becomes a character this episode. She's like, oh no, Rick Flag's being evil, I'll join the good guys. And that's it. And it's just so full of contrivances. Like, Rick Flag has been trying to capture these people who have betrayed him and have gone against Argus, and yet he still lets them work on Peacemaker's multiverse closet. Which is, why would you do that? Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely. I say four. It's got nothing to say. It was literally two music videos. Then Peacemaker gets trapped on the Salvation planet, and that's it.
And then sassy black lesbian breaks up with her boring lesbian girlfriend. There is a breakup. It's not a violent breakup, so it's not quite accurate, but she does break up with a girlfriend.
But they get back together again in the finale. They cry in one conversation. They're back together.
What is the shot of her running in the street through a bunch of white people? Like, I don't.
No context. That's in the Nazi world. It's oh god, that's a funny world.
That's in the Nazi world. Okay.
So they go through, like, Peacemaker goes through. Peacemaker kills the alternate universe version of Peacemaker and sort of takes his place in this world. And it's like the world, every time you see it, it's a utopia. It's really brilliant. It's happy. It's peaceful. It's clean. Everyone gets on. They're all really friendly until like penultimate episode. You discover that's because the Nazis won World War II.
What?
And there's a big mural of Hitler on the wall that Peacemaker just didn't see for comedy reasons. And so she goes there and she's walking through the street and they're like, oh, it's a black, get her. Then they chase her down the street. All these quite fit-looking people chase this very fat lesbian down the street. And to escape, she jumps into a swimming pool, which is very funny too. And then like, people get electrocuted in it. And then there's a joke at the end of it. Because little gay midget twink says, that's the most people I've ever killed in a swimming pool. And she says, what was the second most? And he says, 4.
Hey,
yeah, like she's in a swimming pool. She's incredibly slow. One of the people chasing her is a fucking superhero. He can't catch her. He's on. It's funny. He slows down to have a phone call mid chase.
Are they trying to portray it like comedy though, or is it actually delivered like?
Well, it's supposed to be funny in places, but the bit that got everyone slightly pissed off is then there is a sincere, genuine scene where sassy fat black lesbian is talking to gay midget twink, and he's like, yeah, like I prefer my world because it lets me be myself. And she's like, I don't think our world is as different to this world as we like to believe.
She's in a black lesbian relationship. Her mother is Amanda Waller, and she's incredibly well off.
And yeah, so
Nazi world.
It's the Nazi, the world where the Nazis won. It's like the world that we live in. Honestly, guys, I'm James Gunn. Clap for me, applaud me. I'm so on brand and on message.
Yeah, he thinks this is so edgy and like so fucking powerful. This message that he's doing, it's so played out, dude. Get out of here. When are they gonna wake up and see that just spoon feeding these subjects into people's mouth is just not gonna work? Like,
she just got chased down the street by a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah,
that doesn't tend to happen in modern day real world America very often.
Yeah, so what I mean, who are they appealing to? It's like the lowest of the lowest of the low. It's just a joke at this point. That's why I was asking if you're doing it for comedy, maybe, but if he's trying to be serious about this, it's pretty. You can't be this on the nose and be taken seriously.
Like there's comedic beats in it, but like that line is delivered to be sincere. That is actually the author's opinion on the matter and the character's opinion on the matter.
Hold on,
which is
I gotta ask, okay, genuine question. So in James Gunn's versions of what the world would look like if the Nazis won, were there just zero like colored people everywhere?
Yeah, there is a single line of dialogue where it said all the minorities are in camps somewhere.
Wow.
But like, it is so friendly. Like, he's sitting with his dad and his brother, and they're all going, "Let's take a picture," and they're saving people, and it's really clean, and everyone gets along. And like, there's a funny scene where they find out Peacemaker's from another universe, and their version of like the police go to arrest them, but they go, "Listen, you can't trespass on my property without a excusable reason," and the Nazis are like, "We need a reason to go into his property." Which is funny because in the real world, Argus just breaks into people's properties all the time and they commit all these horrible crimes. So that's the problem. This is supposed to, like, the whole point of the Nazi world is that there's a deep rot underneath the nice layer, but you never see the rot.
Nope.
And like, the girls act like girls in the Nazi universe, yet James Gunn wants us to accept this version of hardcore who's a bitch, rather than the hardcore who acts like a nice woman and is a traditional female.
Yeah.
That's what's insane about this whole thing.
It's like, there's a character difference as well, because in the real world, Peacemaker's dad is a bit of a racist Nazi. And then in the Nazi world, you think it might be the same. And they almost, there's one almost interesting idea in all of this, which is that he goes through into this alternate dimension and he genuinely finds happiness. We leave aside the fact that he's happy in the Nazi dimension because the show can't really deal with that. But his dad is kind of playing a bit, and it turns out like he gets this speech where he almost gets around to saying that in this world he's actually sort of fighting against the Nazis. He's doing his best in the system he lives in. He's actually a good guy. And then like he's giving this impassioned speech. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of good. And then he gets stabbed repeatedly in the neck by like autistic ninja who just jumps through the window and kills him. It's just, vigilante. It's just like, and then it's almost comedic again. And it's like, you almost had a good thing. Like he's had his family taken from him once again. And this family might even have been good, unlike the family in the real world. But you can't have that because, we're just going to kill him.
Yeah, like it actually makes fun of him saying the only real thing I answer to is God, and God would not allow Nazism to work. Yeah. Then literally that's played off as a joke because he died. The one moral character is dead. Isn't that funny? No. Not really.
And this is sounding like they basically do the Stormfront thing from The Boys, where they're trying to do the whole racist Nazi thing, but they're pussies about it. Like, oh, you yellow bastard, you black piece of shit. Like that type of stuff, not actually committing to it. That's what I'm saying. I wish they would actually commit and just, if you're gonna do this, really have some balls and tell something that's gonna make people uncomfortable.
They don't even say like Negro, which is not even nowhere near as bad.
That's like the halfway point, and they can't even do that. That's why, like, Stormfront for me, I just remember being like, "Wow, this feels so manipulative." No racist speaks like that. You yellow piece of shit, you black bastard. Like, it's just that's not it just doesn't work that way. So when I see that, you got to pick a lane. Tell a good story that can actually achieve what you're trying to achieve here. But otherwise, it just seems so half baked and forced. And the fact that we're still doing this years later is shocking to me.
Carlos makes a really nice comment in the chat. James Gunn thinks he's making the next Schindler's List. Unironically, I would love to see James Gunn remake Schindler's List.
All the sassy one-liners will be incredible.
His wife will be one of the victims, and she'll be completely naked for her entire sequence. There you go.
Yeah, she's fucking like 7 Nazi guards in one go.
Speaking of Mr. Gunn here, James Gunn's Superman ends its theatrical run. How much did it make? Asks Forbes. And Reaper, you were nice enough to send me in this little clip. Even going with the $308 million before taking the other expenses into account, Superman's net falls below the $350 million Warner Brothers spend on the production of the film and marketing. So whether Superman will ultimately end up making or losing money, though, is yet to be determined. Wow, it's almost like the mainstream media is even writing about this.
Yeah, Forbes got it.
I'm sure that dude in the chat that's been aggressive about us talking about this will be very disappointed.
Which chat? Be specific, because people have been so crazy about this for months.
Any chat that we're in, any BSUP related chat, I think this guy's everywhere.
It's all over the place. Like, there is still a guy living in my Superman video comment section, like going line by line, trying to debunk all of it. And then like the subreddit for Mauler, the EPUB one, like there are people who will still post topics basically, like it's usually like one every few weeks or so, saying, Superman broke these guys. Here's the 15th topic we're writing, debunking the stuff they said 2 months ago. I think someone got broken by this movie. I'm not convinced it was us, though. And also, it turned out we were correct. Because, yeah, all these people began by saying it's going to make $1 billion. Then they said 600 million was good enough. It's actually a success. And it's like, even though it's 11th out of 10 in terms of the top performing Superman movies, it's still a success. It's still better than Man of Steel. I was like, okay, even though it now hasn't even made its budget back, it's still going to make money on streaming.
Eventually.
And then, eventually, it's like a God of the Gaps kind of thing. You're going to run out of these arguments eventually. This movie was not a success. And even if it was still fucking awful because box office and quality don't really relate to each other. It just tells you what the studio might be thinking about what to do next. And I don't imagine the studio is entirely enthused by the response this movie has had.
No,
they tie their entire life to this shit. It's crazy.
Like, yeah, for real.
Result.
Vex is raising her hand. Hi, Vex.
Sorry, I don't want to talk over anyone. Okay, I'm just trying to.
Everyone else did. I just did it to you. Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're men. It's different. Like women aren't supposed to do that. Anyways,
what is this sexism?
Hand means silence males.
I had 2 questions actually. The first was, how does merchandise fall into like? Does that just fall under the general umbrella of marketing, or does that does that contribute long term to like the income a film could make?
I think it's classed separately to box office performance, and I think it's classed separately to like the movie's direct earnings as well. Obviously, it's not a small consideration, but it's not factored into like the 350 million figure.
Gotcha. Okay, just because I'm thinking like there's a lot of movies that ended up making a lot of money off of merchandise versus box office or like home video sales. That's why and they went all out on the merch for this. I remember, so I was just curious. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how well that's performing. I don't go into the kind of places that sell like merch, so I have no clue whether they're flying off the shelves. I'm not convinced they would be, but it's possible.
That is actually interesting. I haven't seen any merch for this whatsoever.
Well, they made like all the dog figurines and whatnot outside of the popcorn buckets. There were a bunch of statues that came out too. Like they did this with all of Zack Snyder's like Snyderverse films too. Like there was a lot of like top end statues and like little novelty stuff that was made. So that's why I was just curious if that contributes at all.
Well, they did cross promotion with like McDonald's and stuff. You can see her on like a burger.
But that's like just general marketing. That's not a merchandise thing.
Yeah.
I've seen like 3 decades now of little kids dressing up as Spider-Man. It's appealed to every generation. What is it about Spider-Man that has been so much more universally appealing than Superman? And what is it about Superman that makes people so like rabid about this subject when it comes to discussing him, even though he's not as successful or popular as Spider-Man?
I think the Superman thing is just cope, like, you know, whatever. Yeah. If I think he's just more niche than I mean, this movie still made $600 million, so you know, niche is maybe not the word, but he's certainly not as popular as Spider-Man or Batman. He's always third.
His original movie, again, Superman 78 made like $1.5 billion.
Right.
Like, it made 55% of that overseas. Like, it did not used to be the case that Superman had to be this niche character. You can do interesting things with him. But they just don't. They refuse to do it. And this movie particularly refuses to do it. So the one person I've already seen in chat saying, I think you just needed the movie to fail for content. No, like, provide 4.5 hours of video going through all of the ways this is one of the most broken movies to have ever come out, certainly in the last few years. I've got the receipts, and you have cope. You seem to need it to succeed, which is a more interesting question, because there is a bit of the tribalism that comes in. Obviously, it became very fashionable to hate on Zack Snyder, and we all enjoy doing that.
Yes,
because Zack Snyder's fucking awful. But just because it isn't Zack Snyder doesn't make it good. And becoming as big a simp for Gunn as Snyder fans are for Snyder makes you as bad as Snyder fans are. Stop it. Have some self-respect.
Tribal mentality. It's crazy watching
it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think that there's no like defining Superman since Christopher Reeve? Like you've had like 3 successful Spider-Man. I know the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield wasn't the best, but he was a good Spider-Man.
You
don't have any, like Henry Cavill is wasted potential. Even David Cornsweet, he's good, but the film sucks ass.
But think about all the things we had in the meantime, though, Reaper, like Homelander and all the like evil Superman tropes and whatnot.
Omni-Man.
Yeah, Omni-Man. There's probably several ones that I'm not even thinking about right now. But the idea of Superman is being used and abused in the meantime. So when he comes back on screen, like you have to really be a hardcore Superman fan for that to appeal to you. He's just not really. It's not like Blade, where like Blade is just like, oh, look at this dude. He's a freaking half human, half vampire who wields a sword and shoots vampires. Like this, that's an easy pitch, and for any generation, and they've wasted that. Yet Superman's a little bit trickier to write.
But you still have a good Blade. Like Blade was what, 2000, early 2000s. You haven't had a good Superman.
98, 2001, and 2003. I think.
When did Christopher Reeves come out?
78.
When did Christopher Reeves come out? When was he born? That should be 78. I think.
It's like 50 years nearby. We haven't had a good Superman film.
Well, in film, because there's been interesting things that do happen. I know Mr. Brown points to Superman and Lois in the chat, which I haven't seen, but I've heard good things about. And Smallville, I think, is quite highly regarded. Like there have been good things done with this character. But
not mainstream.
Very rarely on the big screen. No, sorry, Vex. I was an evil misogynist and I spoke over you. Carry on.
I answered Jedi's question. Like this is just my 2 cents, right? When you have a character like Spider-Man or Batman, those are characters that are just like people. They're not just the superhero identity. So like with Batman, like sure he's a billionaire, but like he's just a human dude who's just trying to overcome so much within himself, and that's relatable on a large scale to all of us. Spider-Man, all of us were a teenage. Okay, most of us were a teenage boy at one point in our lives, so it's easy to empathize with just the struggles a teenage boy or even just teenage girls to a certain extent too would go through, and then being given a superhero monicum is kind of like, oh, that just like that helps balance all the bad shit that goes on as just being a teenager. So on top of that, when we're looking at Reeves Superman, like just the world perception of America was in a very different place.
Yeah, that's a big
the last 25 years.
It's a big
so
thing.
I would say like that is like that's why we have so many like as you mentioned like versions of Superman that are just kind of the evil versions now that pop off with fan bases because it kind of aligns culturally with how America is perceived, and those are characters.
About that. I mean, I've heard that argument put forward, but bear in mind in 78 you were slap bang in the middle of the Iranian hostage crisis. The Vietnam War was still a major point of contention. There were huge protests around the world against this. Shortly before Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Carter's just got in and he's talking about how like people don't like America and Americans hate America too, and everyone's miserable and depressed, and he's just been elected president, for fuck's sake. And it's, people shortly after this will boo Ronald Reagan when he goes and makes speeches in Berlin. Like, America was not popular in 78. Very, very deeply controversial. There's a bit of present deism, I think, that comes into like the people saying, well, America is less popular now than it was then. I'm not convinced that's true. I just think that we've sort of lost the historical context of the original movie. But what the original movie successfully does is that it makes Superman a very universalist hero. There is even a line in it after he says truth, justice, and the American way, where it's basically and explicitly said that this will put him against his own government. Because a lot of very popular American movies are deeply cynical about the role of the American government, and very important American heroes who stand for America are standing against what the country has become. Captain America does this in Winter Soldier as well. It's not anti-American because we still like that character, but what it is it's speaking to the old-fashioned values that America is supposed to represent, the ideals that nation is instantiated to bring to the world. And it's holding a mirror up to the way in which it's gone wrong. People still like the idea of what America represented, and they don't necessarily like what it's doing in the moment, which is how Superman in 78 was still popular, and Captain America was still popular when Winter Soldier came out.
I guess, yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I guess I was just thinking more like if you just take it outside of the politics too, because like everything that was going on in the world kind of also gave birth to all of those really beloved, just like super masculine action heroes of like the 80s and early 90s too, right? And that helped, like, because I know like my dad, when I was growing up, he like that was one of the things that he like told me that he really enjoyed about Western media when he was growing up in Sri Lanka is he liked all of these like hyper masculine, super American dudes that just just fuck everything and like shoot it up with guns. So like there was this like that's like
origin story, right?
Right. So just like from like that's kind of I guess the perspective, because like I'm not as well versed on like the full political context of what was going on, but yeah, I'm just like from a foreigner's perspective, like there was still a lot more love for America then and throughout the 80s and even the early 90s than there is now on the global scale, at least when it comes to the loudest voice speaking.
It's part of the reason I love movies, man. It just brings people together, just like in a way that's really hard to explain. And even for just relationships, like not always going to be able to have like a heart to heart. Like some fathers aren't going to be great at that, but just sitting down and having a movie that you share together or a series, it's super significant, man. It's powerful stuff.
Yeah, because one of the Supermen, it's whiny, crying, humanity should die, Jesus allegory in Man of Steel, and then in the new Superman, what does he do? He's in a cage for half the movie, getting beaten up. Yeah, he's crying. What again? That guy who died, and what was his name? The Indian dude.
Oh, I just called him H1B, man. I can't remember his actual name.
Yeah, because like I say, look, as you said, there's no like very masculine. Because again, Christopher Reeve's Superman is like he's American exceptionalism, and you just don't get that in these two movies.
No, you really don't.
It's like they're trying to make a Superman movie, but how do we work around not having any masculinity in it? You know what I mean? It just results in this stupid bullshit.
Nothing that just resonates to how most of us see Superman. Like Superman has always kind of been the quintessential representation of everything good about America and like, truth, justice, and the American way. And I saw none of that in this last movie, like even just a fraction of it.
Gary said this a few times, and this movie, it's very true. This movie doesn't have any quintessential Superman scene. There's nothing that really like hits home. And
he gets kicked in the balls.
For all the problems that Man of Steel has, I would just reference the scene where he's in handcuffs and explaining that I can get out of this at any point. Like I grew up in Kansas. Like I'm one of you guys. Like just chill out. Just basically the strength that he shows in that scene trumps this entire movie. So just in terms of the debate versus Man of Steel and Superman, at least Man of Steel has Superman moments. That's it.
Man of Steel has some ideas and it has some stuff it wants to try and say. It's incoherent and it's badly made, but like it has a concept that it's trying to put onto the screen. Whereas this one, basically, the summation of the movie is just Superman saying, "I'm human, and that's my greatest strength." So what the fuck does that even mean? No wonder no one's actually interested in the story. It's not going to sell overseas if you've got that little to say to the audience.
Yeah, and do we even need to say it? That's something you're supposed to show us throughout the fucking movie.
Right.
No kidding.
You know what I mean? You can't have that as a speech and then have people praise it. That's just bad fucking storytelling.
It's actually quite hateful of humanity because he basically says, "I'm weak, I'm stupid, I get things wrong."
Yeah.
It's like, you really don't like humans, do you? I'm just as much of an idiot as everyone else.
All the way through the movie, humans are shit. Like, they turn on him at the first opportunity, and then they're misled by idiot monkey trolls. And then the minute the news tells them they should like Superman again, they do. Like, the people, humanity in Superman are represented by Lex, not by Superman. Lex is the most richest, powerful, most successful person in the world. He is human. And like, that has got him to the position that he's in that film. And he's kind of proven right about how fickle and manipulable the human race is. But then the movie says, no, it's a greater strength. And that means that as long as you think you're doing good, then you are good. So yeah, you go and kill that Jewish allegory in Baravia if you want to. You think you're doing the right thing, Mrs. Halliburton, Hawk to a girl. That makes you right. You're following Superman's example. Even though you say you're not Superman, that's the example you're following.
Oh, man.
I'm
just tired of the human race being portrayed as just worthless and weak in all forms of media, from superhero stuff, sci-fi, fantasy. Even they're always the lowest of the low. Like, there's never anything that highlights their strengths, and it'd be cool to see that, you know. It's always
plus, like, the 78 movie didn't put the Vietnam War in the middle of it and have Superman lasering down the Viet Cong.
No, it would be fucking funny, but no.
We're a bit more intelligent than that. But James Gunn goes, fuck it, Israel and Palestine, let's throw it in. That's not contentious.
That's the other thing, is that the more you current day it, the more you are going to be particularizing it to an issue that Americans care about slightly more than the rest of the world cares about. And to the extent the rest of the world does care about it, they don't tend to like what America has done. So it's just reminding people of like the less appetizing parts of the recent past, rather than speaking to everybody's shared better nature, which 78 does. You know, Superman 78 is the conflict divisions between the birth parents, the gods, who are, it's kind of the Jesus story, who tell him that he is all powerful, he is a steward, he's not to intervene in history, and the human parents, the adoptive parents, who say, I have faith in you, I believe you're on Earth for a purpose. And then he tries to try and reconcile these two things. And that's when he uses his time travel magic at the end. It's a bit silly when it comes to sequels, but it's the thematic conclusion to the movie, is that he forswears his Kryptonian inheritance to be the creature, the being, the god, the steward, and the shepherd character that he's supposed to be. He saves the world. He saves Lois. It's the power of his humanity, which is allied to his godlike nature, which makes Superman what he is. That's a universal story because it's in the fucking Bible. Everybody knows that story. Whereas in this one, it's just, will you rape everyone or will you be a nice guy?
In one hand, you have the rape pill, and the other hand, you have the nice guy pill.
It'd be funny if Jor-El gave him a bunch of toys. Here's a kryptonitic dildo. Here's some handcuffs.
He did that scene, like opening up the fucking the chest, the big box. He's got a whole bunch of fucking sex toys and like dildos and fucking
it's the
handcuffs.
It's the cloak he's wrapped in and a dildo.
Oh my god, man! How Superman should have ended.
But like, nothing in these films are heroic at all, because even like the beginning of Peacemaker, where he goes to have an interview with the Justice Gang, Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner and Maxwell Lord are all just pieces of shit, even though he saved the world last season from a bunch of environmental bugs. Oh, we want to just, we're nice people, we just want to control humanity. Fucking, but yeah, like, they're complete assholes to him. They're not inspirational. They're basically just murderous because they just kill that guy from, not Netanyahu in the Superman movie. That's what we got nowadays. It just sucks.
And you have to now have seen Peacemaker season 2 if you're going to understand why Lex is inevitably out of prison in Man of Tomorrow when that comes out, because that very important story beat is in Peacemaker. He's now working with the government, even though the government didn't want to work with him in the previous movie because he's an evil bald dick. But now they're working with him. And yeah, let's go imprison metahumans in a private pocket dimension prison, just like Lex wanted us to do. And like, how how are you going to explain that to anyone who did like the original the Superman 2025 movie, who's say under 18, and then they go and watch Man of Tomorrow? It's like, oh, seem to have missed a bit of the story here. Better go check in that Peacemaker show that it fills in all the gaps for me. Oh fuck, there's a lot of fucks in this show. There's a lot of exploding cocaine and sex jokes and orgies in this show. I don't think these two things are supposed to be part of the same contiguous universe, because the same audience can't watch both of them.
Well, it's the Thunderbolt's problem. You're punished if you do watch it, because when the film comes out, they'll just change the context.
Yeah.
To adapt whatever story. So we watch Peacemaker and we find out about the Salvation Planet and Lex Luthor talking about twinks getting pegged in the cell next to him. And then all that will just be forgotten about because a new script will come in that will require the story to forego all this development. So we are basically being punished for watching the extra stuff that you're supposed to watch.
That's a pattern with their shows in general. Like, it goes back with the Marvel stuff. It'll make less sense if you follow the Disney Plus stories. And I don't know why they keep doing this. DC is following. That's why I accuse the Superman movie of, like, I've never seen a modern movie a Superman movie or a superhero movie that's learned less from the history of superhero movies and what's worked and what hasn't, and the fact that they're still trying to do this Marvel shit that's put Marvel into the corner that it is now. It's embarrassing. They could have started fresh with the Batman. They could have had a Superman movie that wasn't garbage. They could have, utilized the momentum of the Penguin. There's so many moves they could have made here while Marvel's over here flailing desperately. This was the time to take over, and they're fucking it up.
Like, Marvel needed the competition, and but it needed competition to improve it. It didn't need competition in the how cheap and bad can we make our franchise stakes, because it's doing a good enough job of that itself.
They're like two turds circling a toiler. Which one will sink faster?
Yeah. But there's no excuse for that after the Penguin and the Batman, because however you feel about the Batman, it was still a positive. People wanted more. People didn't be like, oh, I never want to see that ever again. People went into it like, okay, I want to see what you can do with this, the tone and the characters and the performances. You had that as a base, and then we're now stuck in this weird gunverse where nothing makes sense, and Peacemakers, I'm hearing nothing but orgies and racism.
Well, we might not be for long, right? Because I heard during the sale, well, it's a rumor, but it seems to not be going well for him, that they might be kicking him out if the sale goes through.
His reputation is plummeting like J.J. Abrams. It's kind of how it feels.
If they do kick him out, like, DC should just stick with like isolated, like, standalone films and universes. Like, that's what we like. Marvel's just kind of like tired me completely out of the extended universe, because like it went from being something really fun to being homework. And now like watching the Thunderbolts, I was like, oh, I don't have Disney Plus, nor did I care to pirate half of the shit like that give these characters backstories. So I don't even know what's going on anymore.
You don't have faith in them.
Right. And like going into the Superman movie, it turns out I still had to have watched was it Creature Commandos, I think? Because that was the start of the universe. And if I remember correctly, like there was a tie-in for some characters there. But then this entire movie was just a setup for a bigger universe. And that's the only reason. So yeah, DC really should have just pushed like, Marvel's kind of like killed the formula. Like, let's just go back to what we did best. Just like have standalone Batman movies, standalone Superman movies. People like that.
From hardcore people to casuals, everyone is sick and tired of the homework. Nobody wants to do that. I've spoken to so many people who are hardcore Marvel fans, and now they have no idea what's going on. They don't know what's what.
Right.
And it's just the oversaturation and the lack of quality. They're fundamentally associated with bad writing now, and everything's just gone to shit. And I'm really annoyed just because the Penguin somehow squeaked in the middle of this one was pretty awesome. And then they're not going to utilize that. Be like, you know what? This is the way. This is the quickest way to fix the issue. While Marvel was over here like flailing, kind of stuck in their own. They're committed to this at this point. So Marvel can't just pull the trigger and reset the way DC can.
And like I can accept things like the Batman having a spin-off like the Penguin, because that's still within a contained universe.
Right,
and the
still contained.
The Penguin won't necessarily have an influence on the Batman 2 if I don't watch the Penguin. You know what I mean? So it was the same with like when Marvel had the 3 or 4 shows, I think it was, on Netflix. I could still enjoy those shows in isolation, and they had their own small universe that worked. I didn't need to worry about how it blended into the larger thing that was happening on the big screen.
because they did it correctly back then. They would reference
Right.
bigger events and certain characters, but it wasn't required for continuity. And once
Exactly.
you do that, then it's like you have to trust that the story is worth my time, because it literally just becomes homework where it's like, okay, just tell me what happened in that one so I can watch the real one. It feels like filler. It feels like just disrespectful to the audience, versus there was a period of time where you wanted to watch everything to get the story because you trusted the quality. I remember
Right.
watching Civil War and it made me want to watch every Marvel movie, and I was just like, ugh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. They're not all as good as this one. So you kind of have those main ones that people base the quality of the entire franchise off of. But this is why they should have utilized Penguin and Batman, and not now we're just stuck in this weird. What's the next movie going to be like tonally? Is it going to be Gunverse, or is it going to be more Matt Reeves Batman?
What's
What would you rather
worse
see?
is now like the Alien and Predator IPs are doing this. So like
Yeah.
now those universes are blended. So and they're trying to change what they're putting out now to match the continuity of before, but the before continuity was also retconned by Ridley Scott many times. So none of it makes sense. Like
through Disney, we're gonna see a Disney princess with a pet predator, just like we just saw a Disney princess with a pet xenomorph. It's like they're gonna do it. They can't resist. They're fucking pathetic, and it's the same shit every single time. So
an
get ready
ugly
for
little
those two.
baby predator will sell toys.
Yeah, there was a baby xenomorph. They tried to do the Grogu thing, just like they
Jesus.
did the Grogu thing in Jurassic Afterbirth. It's their only
fucking
trick.
ugly. I hate that.
What do you think what do you think the box office projections are for Predator Badlands?
I don't know. They're
I think
putting
it's
in
like-
IMAX, which is shocking.
I think it will do moderately well because like the reception to was it Prey was pretty solid, and then Killer of Killers also had pretty solid reception, but I don't know what the streaming numbers were. This would be Dan Trachtenberg's first Predator IP on the big screen. So I don't I think just because it has no other competition and people are so hungry for Predator content, I think it will do moderately well.
Yeah, I feel like
what's its budget is the most important.
Yeah, you took it out of my mouth. If you keep the budget low, just the appeal of a sci-fi movie for casuals and the a new Predator film for hardcores will probably get it to at least make profit of some kind. But
the budget is $100 million.
That's what I'm seeing. Yeah,
box office predictions for opening weekend is 35 to 45 million.
We still got time. We still got time to sell tickets. So 100 million is not hard to make back, though.
Well, what was Demon Slayer, the movie, where it made more than Superman, and you had to watch 4 seasons of a TV show to figure out where the story was?
Well, to be fair, that's anime. Those things fly by for like 18 minutes a piece, and they usually end on cliffhangers. So the easiest things to binge compared to what we were talking about with this shit, where you have to watch like full-on series that could be,
Oh, that scene where he's talking in the trailer and you see his little teeth.
One of me's family.
You need to do it with the recording, man. You need to record the voice. That's fucking. What were you saying, Reaper? Sorry. That's so funny.
Fuck. I was waiting until you got back, Vex, to pull this up because I need you, I guess.
For what? Like, what can
I don't know. You're the only woman, so like, just can you explain this, please? Why? Why is this so? A 6-part Eras Tour docuseries from Taylor Swift will release on Disney Plus on December 12th.
It's going to be their most watched thing ever as well. You could just see it coming.
This is a perfect opportunity to boost those Disney Plus membership numbers right before the quarter ends.
that actually might be it.
I have no reasoning for it. I think we dissected this pretty well last week during BSUP, but Taylor Swift just appeals to like several generation of normie for some reason, and she's just kind of I don't know. I don't this doesn't appeal to me, so I don't know what I can bring to the conversation.
Well, I know it was more of it is news, and we could just repeat the crash out from last week, but we don't need to do that necessarily.
Nah, apparently she's pissed off a few people because there are some lyrics in, I use the word advisedly, the songs in her new album, which are like, I want to have kids and to get married and some feminists are unhappy with her about this, I guess.
And so she's pissed off all the normies, the normie women that were like girl boss in thought only, the kind of way that Lizzo pissed off the body positivity people when she lost weight. I guess that's the only explanation.
Well, she'll dump her boyfriend if her sales go down, so because she's completely artificial.
How old is she? Is she 37?
30. She's almost 40.
Something. And I suppose she is still in that sense an avatar for a lot of
35.
like modern society, is that she's waited quite late to have this realization. But I suppose better late than never.
I thought she was like 24 or something. I'm like, this is a
Still,
revelation.
she's been what? She's been popular for like 20 years, unfortunately.
Well, I don't think about her. Like, it's not something like crosses my mind. But yeah, I'm shocked.
This is kind of something we touched on last week. Like, she is the perfect industry plant if you're just trying to make women really buy into feminist ideals completely.
She will be responsible for the incline of the birth rate if everything goes accordingly. Because
I don't think
women just follow Taylor Swift and she has a baby, no more birth rate issues.
Hold on. The women that listen to Taylor Swift aren't necessarily getting married or in relationships, and
but they'll want one now.
I think they always wanted one.
No, they'll kill her. They'll go, I believe in you, and then sacrifice it on a bonfire.
It's the South Park Britney Spears idea. Yeah, we need to sacrifice for the harvest again.
The whole mentality is crazy, like what you mentioned with the Lizzo thing. Like you're so invested in this body positivity thing to where when she wants to actually improve her health, you're gonna shame her for it as if being fat is superior. It's the most
healthy at any weight
ever.
Healthy,
and she looks fine. This is the reality of it. Like the Lizzo teasing just died overnight as soon as she started getting in shape because there's not much to tease anymore. She actually looks great.
No, it's like, oh, good for you. Good for you.
Lose a couple. She's a pretty girl. No one's ever denied that. But the more she loses the more she loses the weight, the more you can see it come out. And there's not much to fucking bitch about now.
No, there's still a lot to bitch about with Lizzo, like how she stuck bananas up the vaginas of strippers. For a while.
Okay. I'll rephrase that
then. Come on.
Then didn't Taylor Swift date a 17-year-old when she was 24? Like, there's some weird stuff in her past as well.
She did, yeah. I think she was dating Taylor Lautner when that happened, and he wasn't 18 yet, or he just turned 18. Oh, that was a whole fun. The Taylor Squared thing. I remember that.
See, this is why I needed you, because of course you'd remember something like that.
Well, it's a big deal because there was that stupid Valentine's Day movie that came out like 15 years ago, where like it was that brief period where Hollywood was just putting out these dumb movies, but it had like this insane ensemble cast, and there were like 20 A-listers in it, and there was a whole marketing deal because it actually pushed some of the figures for a younger generation to see Taylor Swift dating, Team Jacob over here. So, okay, maybe you're right, Cynic. Maybe you're right.
See, the truth will out.
Yeah, can't wait to not watch this and be very perplexed when it does incredibly well.
I think you should review this, Cynic, and I think it would do amazing numbers for your channel.
What do you think the like to dislike ratio will be once it hits the algorithm and the Swifties find it?
Here's the thing. You do it like sarcastically so that even the Swifties, because they'll see it as positive Taylor Swift thing, then you'll just get an influx of Swifties to your channel that will watch everything you put out.
And they'll be like, why did I subscribe to this guy after
maybe
after this one goes over their heads?
There's a whole Taylor Swift saga awaiting you now.
Even Amy isn't anticipating this at all. So she doesn't want to see it. I was like, oh fuck. Well, at least I don't have to now.
Who do you think? Do you think there'll be like another Swiftie that'll like kill her and take her place? Because she is aging out. She's nearly 40. There will be another girl to come in who's just as robotic as she is, who's just as controllable.
Billie Eyelash or whatever her name is, but then she's not exactly a looker. So maybe she's not the ideal replacement.
Hold on. Billie Eilish is a looker when she tries to look like a woman.
But when she looks like a dead fish, not so much.
Yeah. Not so much.
It looks like she just woke up 90% of the time, but when she tries, she's all right.
Yeah, there was like it was a red carpet or something she showed up to a couple years ago, and she actually wore a dress that fit her figure, and I was like, Okay, Billie Eilish can sit on my face if she looks like that all of the time. Like she looked legitimate. Like it was kind of like looking at like peak era Scarlett Johansson, but curvier.
I always thought it was just the tits.
Nah, there's a whole figure going on there. The tits help though. The tits really do help.
Well, in other news, there's a Minecraft sequel coming out.
No.
That's
You're
soft.
Googling it too?
No.
I mean, it's
we all enjoyed
this one.
is.
She's a bit too scowling. Like she's a Adam's Family vibes. You know, like calm down. But
So
damn,
it's
yeah,
the
those tits do definitely help the package.
Oh, Billie
So-
Eilish? Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you think it'll be the same cast? You'll have that black woman who had no reason to exist, the two kids, and Jason Momoa, but this time he's got a different outfit.
I think that they shouldn't go with the same characters. If they just briefly tied in at the beginning, because they left the last one on that like quote unquote cliffhanger with Alex or whatever, right? Just do a soft tie-in because the Minecraft movie, like this franchise, if they're gonna keep making movies, just has the potential to just be a different movie every time. You don't need any continuity.
That main kid, like when I think of generic main kid actors, he's like one of the worst. He just was so nothing. He was like this movie was garbage anyway, but yeah,
and it's
devoid
one
of
those-
talent and potential for sure.
I said it in the Minecraft review I did. It's like he's one of those kids when you can like say watching him definitively that his mum fucked the casting agent. It's like that's how he's in the movie.
Dang.
100%. Like there's just nothing going on there. It's 100%. Like either some type of hookup, some type of nepotism. Yeah.
Is it that scene in Forrest Gump where he goes, "Your mama sure loves you, boy"? After fucking
I do hope that they try to learn some lesson from how just a mess that first movie was. Just as there's so much to pick out of, like in the Minecraft universe for actual stories. That what they went with is just.
They
Why would
made
they?
no
It needs
effort
so
to
much money. They don't need to make any effort on the writing front. Evidently, it was hugely successful. I suspect this one won't be as successful if it is kind of the same movie again, but they won't have realized that yet.
They made no effort to bridge the gap between Minecraft fans and normies. I was just like, what
It
the
really
fuck is
didn't.
going on here? Like, you need to put a little effort into making me understand at least the appeal, not just the mechanics, but at least the appeal. What the fuck all this is? It's. I don't think I've ever seen a movie that only works for people who are fans of the content.
Well,
think-
this film Minecraft felt more like a gimmick. Like people were just going there to say they've been there, like kind of like Barbenheimer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Whereas
just one
I
big
don't-
massive meme.
Yeah, I don't know if that can be replicated.
Yeah, you need a story at some point.
Yeah,
Does this one make as much as the first one, which was
No way.
almost $1 billion?
I don't think
I'd
so.
almost bet
no.
money on it. No way. Just
Unless
the
they
shock
actually
value
make it
of
a
the
good
first one is
film,
fun.
then no. Like,
No.
if it turns out, if it's got like the same aesthetic, humor, if Jack Black's still in it, it'll do pretty well. If it has an actual really good story that makes people invest in it, it will do better. If it's the same level of content as the first one, then that time has passed. We've done that now. We've thrown the chickens around. We don't need to do that again.
I think even if it's a genuinely good movie, I don't think it'll make as much money as the first one.
Yeah.
because so much of it is just the shock of like, oh my god, a Minecraft movie, and like you said, the memes. Nobody went there for the movie; they went there for the memes.
Right. Like there's the other thing I think that needs to be considered now that we're in this era of like social media is what sells film tickets more like word of mouth on social media. And I think just not the controversy, but the headlines that came out about what was going on in these movie theaters would probably turn off any parent taking their kid to a Minecraft movie for the rest of their lives.
That's excellent point.
How many dead chickens are going to happen after this movie?
I know the abuse.
There's
I
just
don't even-
hundreds of dead chickens in a theater.
I don't even think like Minecraft got a boost in player numbers after this came out and all because like at least with Fallout there was a boost. With The Last of Us Season 1 there was a boost. You didn't see that happen. Like Halo didn't get a boost because that show was fucking terrible. So rightfully so, it didn't translate to any new player base. But I don't remember the Minecraft movie boosting player numbers temporarily.
They released like a free expansion pack type thing with a bunch of weapons from the movie. But I mean, Minecraft was already such a massively popular game that it wasn't reinvigorating that franchise. The movie was just parasitizing off of an incredibly successful game. Whereas with Fallout, like it's been a while since the good Fallout's released, and I can imagine those did get a boost because like the world superficially looked like what you remembered playing and you remembered having fun with it. So people would go back and play the older ones again, which they hadn't touched for a while, which in that sense, the show did its job. But this movie just is a leech. It doesn't need to make Minecraft any better than it is. Minecraft is already popular enough.
Oh, there's a couple people saying like the Minecraft player base is already pretty big. The indicator I'm going by is what streamers do, because so many kids watch streamers. So I noticed that whenever like an IP blows up again because of a movie or TV adaptation, suddenly big streamers will be playing it again. So I didn't notice any big streamers return to Minecraft when the Minecraft movie was coming out. Because every kid just wants to be a fucking streamer now. That's why. So I think that's a pretty good indicator of what's going to sell well.
I was at the wedding I was at like a couple of months ago. There was a little kid there. It was really, really like bright and like adorable, very clever. But it was like, I'm on YouTube. I want to be a streamer. So I'm not sure. You're like 10. And they said, what would you like to stream? Roblox. Oh fuck. I'm familiar with some stories about that game now. I'm not sure you should be playing that game. Never mind streaming it. But good luck.
Oh man, yeah, that's gonna be the new thing, isn't it? There's no like, oh, I want to be a pilot. There's no, it's just everything is social media related. It's kind of even as we all do this, and we all know you need to understand life and do things beforehand. Before, like, I feel like everyone all of us who came here and started our channels, we had experience in other things beforehand. It wasn't us dreaming of being YouTubers from the very beginning. It should be something that happens organically, and you have other things to fall back on, hopefully. But yeah,
none of us went into this at like no one started on this panel at like 18 years old trying to be a YouTuber or something.
Nope.
It happened eventually, and it wasn't my first thing. I was never like, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking YouTuber. I was gonna be I wanted to draw comic books. So I guess you could say that's how it got there, but yeah.
It is kind of funny how everyone's dream nowadays is to sell cheap merch to the audience at a massively inflated price. I got this shirt in China for $5. I put it on the store for $36.
Yeah, man.
That's the dream. Ripping off your fans.
In other video game news, this was interesting. Ubisoft canceled an Assassin's Creed game set in the post-Civil War era. It featured a black assassin who was formerly a slave, and players would fight the emerging KKK. Leadership canceled it after concerns with U.S. political climate and Yasuki backlash. Of
course. You can't have a game where you go around killing Democrats. That would just be wrong.
If they released this instead of Shadows, this would have actually done better, because it makes sense to have a black guy here, not in fucking Japan.
But even then, it's like the political climate we're in. Like, people are kind of sick of black guy kills a bunch of white people.
Oh, I'm in totally like that's why.
How to explain Sinners then?
Well, that was what was the domestic box office of Sinners? It was basically all America. Like, this wouldn't sell well internationally. Like,
okay, good point.
Like, China are not interested in Black Panther. Like, they had to cover his face up. They hid him in the background.
They shrunk his ass, and they made Little Mermaid blue. I remember those.
So this would be very successful in China and parts of Western Europe, but internationally, and that's what these games look to sell, is across the world, especially the Asian market. This would just flop.
This would have worked better if it were 15 years ago.
Yeah.
This is an idea way too late.
Well, the story would also be more mature. Like, you wouldn't, like, the KKK wouldn't have, like, red hats going, I want, a controlled and sensible immigration policy, and then you just gun them down. They would actually be, like, there would actually be more maturity, and they'd treat the source material and all this historical relevance with more reverence. But they wouldn't. Nowadays, it literally just be you drive a car through these people, even though cars don't exist.
Yeah, I mean, we have no confidence that they would do it subtly or cleverly. But in Black Flag, you liberate slaves, don't you, as part of the backstory? Like, isn't your like second in command on your ship an ex-slave or something like that? Because there was a time when we were able to actually tell interesting stories about history without like massively cheap current day moralizing, which I suspect this game would have ended up being. That's you don't hear that a modern game studio is making a game set during the rise of the KKK and expect a nuanced take on history.
Well, it's also stupid because like everyone wanted an Assassin's Creed ninja in Japan, and that's where they put the black guy.
Yep.
That's so stupid. It's so incredibly stupid, man. That's the one time you should be.
I loved how everyone was going through the arguments of, oh, well, Assassin's Creed has always been historically accurate when that's not really the case whatsoever. I really loved that argument during the peak of the Shadows Discord. Dang, Shadows just came out this year, didn't it? It was earlier this year.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like a year ago that came out.
Just don't hear anything about it anymore.
I'm the last comment. I'm with you. I remember playing the original and like I got bored of it after just a couple hours. It's extremely repetitive. I'm shocked out of every franchise I could possibly think of that this one has had the longevity that it's had.
Well, the second one was leaps and bounds better than the first.
Yeah, and the first one worked really well if you played it almost episodically. I sort of did it and limited myself to one of the major story assassinations a day, basically, because if you do more than that, the combat in particular was incredibly repetitive.
That's what frustrated me.
I remember was being much better. Black Flag is still my favorite of all of them. That's a really
very
good game.
Okay, so they must have improved the mechanics tremendously because that's a big factor for sure. Because you want to get immersed, you can't have that.
In Brotherhood, you can call over assassins and kind of level them up and do all these extra types of assassins. Yeah, it was like those cool concepts, but it's like you've already had 2 games about slavery. You had Freedom Cry, which is that Adewale, the first mate to Edward Kenway in Black Flag. He fights slavery in Haiti. Then you've also had Assassin's Creed Liberation, which is also about slavery. So you actually had 2 games in the franchise already about this subject.
Yeah, so it's just oversaturation. The only game I played in the franchise was Black Flag, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I didn't bother playing the other ones.
The best one.
But I mean, they did do in the other ones as well, like a pretty good job of creating the believable world state, even if the story itself obviously can't be true to life. But part of the really enjoyable thing is you can go around Florence, for example, and it is Florence. If you've been to Florence, you're basically in that game. They do a really good job of ensuring that like the world has been brought back to life. That's the most enjoyable part of it, really, much more so than like the modern day story. I don't even know what that is, but I know aliens are involved in it somehow.
What?
And like, so I don't care about that shit, but I like going to all these like ancient medieval places, and it looks amazing. And then once they got the gameplay loop figured out, it played pretty well too. Whereas you've also got the problem with like post Civil War sort of Reconstruction era America. Certainly, if you're not setting it in any big major cities, it will kind of look like a bunch of the other ones which aren't set anywhere near any big major ancient cities. Like you're going around the woods, which we've done a few times. It can be fun, but it's not like the most visually striking thing to do. You're not in a very massively distinctive part of the world in the way that you are with other versions of the game.
Another awful thing is that they constantly try to replicate The Witcher 3. So you have this kind of soft RPG kind of thing with the equipment, but it never does real RPG. So you'll have a conversation, you'll have multiple dialogue trees that basically end up at the same place. So the story has no RPG elements. All you're really doing is constantly getting loot during the gameplay, and it sucks.
I hate that, where no matter what you pick in the dialogue, it's all going to end up in the same way. It's like, what's the point? It's RPG light. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst of everything. Just do an RPG or don't.
And the stories just aren't really structured enough to keep you playing through the open world. That was the problem with Odyssey, because like Odyssey is set during one of my favorite periods and settings in all of history, and I did play a bit of it. But I mean, there's so much else to just randomly go and do, and you do loads of it, and it's kind of like busy work. And then the main story, it exists, but it's not massively captivating, and so I think I just drifted off from it at some point and never finished.
What was the best one mechanically, you guys said?
Black Flag, probably.
Black Flag?
Yeah. Best story as well.
Yeah, the story's really good in that one.
Which was the Egypt one? That was an Odyssey, right?
Origins, yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Like, that's when they started implementing the RPG system, and it had much more polish, but it was still kind of, the open world's just too huge. And as Platoon said, the main stories aren't that interesting. You basically just run around these massive regions on a camel doing nothing.
See, in other video game news, they're already developing Mortal Kombat 3 at Warner Brothers, despite the second film actually being delayed.
Did the first film do well at the box office?
So, yes and no. It was that dual streaming year in 2021 that WB implemented. So it was streaming at the same day as it released in theaters. It did okay in theaters, but I guess it did banger on streaming numbers. So they're hoping that that'll translate over into box office for the sequel.
I still haven't watched any of these newer ones. I loved those 90s ones. Those ones were just so much fun.
It's my childhood.
I haven't bothered watching these newer ones. Are they worth putting any time
it's worth
into?
checking out, but
it's I could summarize it for you, Vex, real quick. You'll start off, it's fucking like awesome from the very beginning in terms of having samurai dude. You know who I'm talking about, the guy from Shogun. He's like the quintessential Japanese
fucking awesome.
Got the Sub-Zero Scorpion dynamic. And then we have this original new character who's this fucking OC who's lame as fuck and is just so
Cole Young.
worthless. No one gives, don't even, his name should not be spoken. He's guy. He's just fucking dude, bro. He sucks, but there's a lot of the elements that work and really that was fun. Like the gore was on point. The story was simple and easy.
Kano was funny.
Kano
was great. Stole the show.
He's so fucking hilarious that like they better be bringing him back. Cheat, multiverse,
give me
whatever.
a fucking egg roll.
Just fucking bring him back. Whatever you got to do. It was good enough to the point where people would be pumped for the second one because the improvements are very clear. Get rid of that motherfucking OC, which they did.
And
with,
they are
with, Carl Urban.
Yeah,
bringing in who's Johnny Cage, who's popular. I have a feeling this one's going to be awesome. I just have a feeling it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm a little nervous that they're making Johnny Cage the main character because I don't know. Maybe I like the classic, but I love Liu Kang as the main character, and I feel like he should.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing that because he had the originals, and if they're going to do it over again, they really specifically wanted to go. Just try like we're not telling the same story, because if you're doing Liu Kang as the same as the main character, you might have to go down the same path. Like
and that's fine. And at least it's a fucking character from the games that's a lead now instead of fucking Cole.
You know what they need though? so step one, kill Cole. Like scene one, first 30 seconds, he just dies of a heart attack, and then move on. And one of the things they definitely need is a cameo from Robin Shao, the original Liu Kang.
Yeah, that would be great.
We need it.
Wasn't Cole's power literal plot armor?
His power was the Black Panther suit.
No, it was plot armor. It was.
If I were to watch these newer ones, I'd have fun with them. Like it's not like
you only have to watch this. Only the first one's out right now because the second one has been delayed until.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second one doesn't exist technically yet, so you only have to watch the first one, and it would be fun for sure. Like watch.
Yeah. Like. Oh, go ahead.
I would say the actions of the first movie kind of get retcons because everyone who dies just kind of comes back.
And they allude to that at the end of the first movie, like these characters rule too hard to keep them dead.
We're running out of characters. We'll bring them back.
Series kind of cheats, but fuck it, man. If it brings Kano back, it's
Kano definitely needs to come back. But
really funny. It's just it's a super obvious example of one actor's charisma just carrying the entire movie
for real.
A lot of it probably was what's the word? Why can't I get it right now? Fucking off the top of your head. Why am I blanking on this word? Non-scripted, improv.
Oh,
yeah. There we go. I just could not get that. Thank you, Reaper. Yeah, it feels like a lot of it was improv. It felt very like his script was so much better than the rest of the dialogue, where it must have been improv.
Yeah, it had to have been the actors. Exactly. It had to have been improvised because it feels like the actors who brought everything to the table for Kano.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's bookended by the best part of the entire story. So the beginning and the end is Scorpion and Sub-Zero's story. Their story starting and their story having a conclusion. And it fucking rips. Like, it really is awesome. I would have watched an entire film that was just about those two.
Them. This is the thing. Absolutely. It's just like it could have been focused, and it probably would have been easier on the budget as well. So just from the amount of things that worked in it, you can kind of ignore the issues and like be excited for the second one. It's just kind of one of those. It's like the ultimate turn your brain off type of thing, And I don't even like using that phrase too often, but this definitely applies here.
Yeah. And so with the beginning and the end of the film hitting so hard, the through line throughout is that original character who will not be named, I guess. He is the descendant of Scorpion, and that's how it's all connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like at the very end of the film, they never really explain how. But Scorpion just shows up to have a fight with Sub-Zero.
Because they
knew the fans wanted it, and they didn't give a fuck about doing the lead work.
Fuck it.
They just went, fuck it, Scorpion shows up last second.
The blade of Hanzo. It really is just kind of out of fucking nowhere. Like he has the blade of Hanzo in his hand, and it cuts him. And I guess the blood on the blade it's almost like Freddy Krueger coming back because the dog pissed on the ground in a dream.
I still can't believe that's a real thing that happened.
That's a real thing. Freddy comes back in part 4 by a dog pissing on the ground. It's like, well, Freddy's back because the movie wants him to be. And that's kind of how this is with Scorpion. Scorpion's so fucking badass. The movie's like, Scorpion's here to kick some ass because you want him to be. Trust me.
But what was that scene at the end where fucking Raiden smirks? Because he goes, I thought you couldn't interfere. And he gives that smile, but he let Kung Lao die.
Yeah, what a son of a bitch. Like,
I think I specifically remember that. I think I remember that being like, what the fuck? You just screwed everything up with like one line. Doesn't make any sense. I don't think they've gotten Raiden right in any movie. Raiden's presence needs to be made more.
No, he was fantastic in the original Kombat.
The first one, in my mind, he is because he had the outfit down and whatnot. But the actor that they picked, he was just too American. He just looked like to do your taxes. He just didn't really fit the role.
But in the actual character animation, the guy was white who played Raiden.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't supposed to, he was supposed to be Asian, but the guy they got was white, so they also got a white guy to play him. It was Christopher Lambert.
I think his performance is what was off for me. His look was on point.
It was Christopher Lambert, by the way. Yes, I do.
Yeah, and he was.
Remember that.
I thought, I don't know, maybe it's because I was a child, so I have some nostalgia for it. But I thought his performance was fantastic.
Who do you think was the best, like maybe top 3, the casting for all of the Mortal Kombats, like including from the original, from the old ones to this?
Robin Shao for Liu Kang was.
He's an easy one. He's perfect. Yeah. He's born to be Liu Kang. But it gets tricky after that in terms of a lot of the other, like Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Anyone could have been under there, right?
Anyone.
And Goro, I don't want to count him because he's practical effects, even though that probably should count.
I don't know. The guy who played Johnny Cage in the original was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Same with Sonya. Sonya was good in the original too.
And Kano was good in the original.
Wait. Which Sonya did you like more? The blonde Sonya who was like a bitch, or the one they recasted her as in the second?
The recast. I liked the recast.
You liked
the Annihilation?
Listen, they aren't good movies. They're just fun movies.
What is going on?
Hold on. I just want to clarify that, okay? They're they're both terrible movies, but they're so much fun to watch.
There are.
Oh no, wait! I'm thinking about Katana. Katana was the brunette, and they recast Sonya Blade in the second one as like some twink blonde chick who was like completely immemorable. Yeah, the first one was better. And then Jack's just a bald black dude with muscles. He's really easy to.
Yeah, because Veronica Vaughn from Billy Madison played Sonya in
the second one.
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace.
Maybe Shang Tsung or Shang Tzu, like he couldn't act. Your soul is mine, but like he committed. He had the face down. He was emoting like a motherfucker. I appreciate that.
Actually, I didn't think he was bad at all.
Yeah, it might be him.
I would actually put him at number 2 behind Liu Kang, maybe.
It might be him. He was going for it. I appreciate it.
He really did.
Shao Kahn was crap, though. He was like,
ass.
I will not be defeated.
I will not be defeated.
It's so lame. And the CGI, I referenced that in my video. Some of the worst CGI I've ever seen in my life. With animalities in Mortal Kombat. Just awful.
Remember the guy who played Nightwolf, and he was such a bad actor? He's like, fine, your animality.
Jesus Christ. Yo, might have to watch that one. Like, watch all of the Mortal Kombat.
It's so bad, dude.
I totally forgot about that.
Dude, when I was a kid, when I was a little kid, they had it was VHS was it, and it was the video store. And for the popular movies, they would get a ton of VHS copies. And for Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I was so excited to see this film, and they only had one copy, and it was out for I could never find it for 8 months because there was only one goddamn copy. And when I finally watched it, I was so fucking disappointed. I was 8 years old, and that was such a piece of shit.
I remember those days, man. Like, you want to get a copy, but Doug L is rented it for the third time.
Yeah, Doug L. He won't return the fucking thing.
God damn it, you fucking Doug. Once again, it's just The Blockbuster days. Oh man, I miss Blockbuster. Those were the fucking times, man. But yeah, I do remember sometimes they would have a bunch of copies, so you never have to worry. And there's other times where you're fighting over one. And it's just madness.
Well, it's just because Annihilation was such a bad movie, it bombed at the box office. So I was, I was happy that my local video store even got one VHS copy in, and it always had that little tag around it because it was gone.
These TikTok kids won't understand. Savages like us, I had walked to the movie theater to like rent a VHS, walk home to watch that bitch. Where now like they can't even sit through a fucking movie, even though they can download it in 2 seconds.
Dude, do you remember just the amount of stuff you watched that you wouldn't have otherwise just because the cover looked cool in Blockbuster?
100%. This is my like one of my most nostalgic tales. Walking around Blockbuster for hours like Matilda. Every Friday I would go and get movies in a game. Yep.
Yeah. Every Friday.
They
my
all
parents
knew me.
Would take us. Yeah.
They would hold things for me. They knew I was coming. They knew exactly what I'd want, recommendations. And it's one of the they closed down right before I was like old enough to like start working, and I would have been my first job 100%. Like,
my too. I dreamed at working at a Blockbuster.
It's funny. Oh my god! Say that. It was one of the few things I'm like I don't care about the money. I just want to work here. Like we're just talking about movies all day. Blockbuster is pure nostalgia juice. I love it.
There was
how about that for casting? That looks right.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. The angle's a little derpy. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like there's a phone carrier and internet provider Rogers up here, and they used to do video rentals too. And my brother worked at one of those during high school, and he'd just bring home like a new like 3 or 4 new movies almost every night, and he'd just rip all of them onto DVDs. But like that's why I was like, man, I want to work there one day. Like I could just pick out movies like every night and come home and watch them with no charge.
Endless. And just going and looking at all the covers, man. Just like going and that's why I'm not even kidding. It would take me at least like 2-3 hours every time. It was a normal routine. Because I'm making a hard choice of what I want to watch and play this week, and then trying to like have a mental note for all the things in the future, because you can't watch them all, right? And they all look so appealing. So yeah, just people nowadays will never get that, the commitment to actually going out, renting, fighting over fucking Doug. Fuck you, Doug Elp. Return it, you son of a bitch. Like go through that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I got no issue with this casting though. This looks good.
Yeah, this looks right.
Well, remember when TV couldn't be paused and like something had to get missed, and you go, "Oh fuck, I've got to go and catch the fucking next episode," and I have no idea what they've just said because everyone is arguing.
TV,
the good old days.
Trying to keep up with television shows back in the day when you had to go and beat you follow the TV guide and actually catch the schedule and everything.
TV guide.
You start watching it like 2 seasons in, like randomly. It was just tough, man.
Does anyone remember? Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, like the viewerships though, like they were like 20 million people watching Friends at the same time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you?
Like a show that's like, sorry, go on.
Oh no, finish your thought. Sorry, I was
I was just saying, like a show nowadays getting like 2 million is a hit.
A huge hit too.
That's crazy. Does anyone remember looking at the newspaper for showtimes at the theater?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. TV Guide, Channel 5 TV Guide. Oh my god.
When I was a little kid, my local theater would get the movies that came out in theaters like 3 months after the fact. So like if Jurassic Park came out in June, they got it in like September. And there was one, yep, and there was one showtime a day, and it was at like 7 o'clock at night.
Dang.
Yep.
It's interesting that they're bringing back classic films now. They're still doing good. Like I regret not seeing Jaws a few weeks ago when it was.
Oh, you missed out. That was fantastic seeing that in the theater.
Even the Star Wars prequels are doing well when they get released.
Yeah, they are,
which is shocking.
Well, that'd be shocking maybe like 10 years ago or so, but I feel like Disney Star Wars has fucked up so bad that people have nostalgia for the prequel that wasn't even there before. It's they're not that bad, and there's a lot to love there. Like there's a lot of moments of greatness in the prequels that people don't give enough credit to.
Which I don't like sand.
And then there's that. There's also that. You know. See, here's the thing. Everyone references the sand thing. Nobody references the Anakin is the father, isn't he? Scene where I'm so sorry. Like literally, they learn how to act for one scene and they actually pull it off. I remember it's like one of the only well acted scenes in the entire trilogy. But they hit that one out the park of just like this is what this is supposed to be. So give your little moments of greatness.
But then
you have liar.
It's immediately followed by "You turned her against me."
It's fucking Obi-Wan. If only he didn't stand there with his arms on his fucking side like an idiot, Anakin wouldn't have just lost his shit. Like if he had less aggressive body language, they could have had a conversation. But
there was supposed to be an actual plot line in an earlier draft of their script where like Anakin was supposed to have more doubts that maybe like Padme and Obi-Wan were actually in a relationship, like she was cheating on him. I think that was drafted or at least discussed to be drafted. Never made it into the film, but then that scene makes a lot more sense if you assume it is in the film somewhere.
Yes, that's such a waste because it's all there, you know, like even age-wise, they could have played with that throughout the entire trilogy, and it's one of the biggest things their relationship is missing is an actual relationship. We don't get to see them together at all, pretty much in the first two films when we really need them. And in Revenge of the Sith is the one that would be appropriate to rip them apart, but we're not. It's just we don't have all the components there that we need. So at the end, it just feels so forced and like just awkward and uncomfortable between the two of them. But the one scene that works is that scene I referenced of like acknowledging that Anakin's the father. Like they nailed that.
But what would the dialogue be? You fucked my girlfriend, Obi-Wan. So I'm going to overthrow the Republic.
It would be a better. No matter what, it would be better. It'd be forced to make it better if they acknowledge the love triangle thing. Because I think love triangles is such a effective storytelling tool. Like the prime of The Walking Dead was built off Shane, Rick, and Laurie. I always say that, and there's probably many other.
And there's a reason they pop up so often. I mean, it's just a pretty classic storytelling device. It's a very universally understood object of jealousy and conflict and things like that. But then, because we don't have that in the movie, you actually get for all the scene. I think I agree is quite well acted. It's still a bit weird that Obi-Wan goes to her and says, by the way, the father of your kids and the love of your life, he just murdered a bunch of children. And he does that because he knows she will go and fly off to find him, so he can sneak his way onto her ship, as opposed to going to her and saying, Anakin is falling to the dark side, and I believe only you, maybe we together, can bring him back. Let's go, and we'll do our best.
I think it only works because it's the last line as he leaves the room, almost like to corner her. Like he's asked her directly, and you can't get the truth out of her. He knows how loyal she is, and just throwing that out, like she can't even lie. Which is why I'm like, fuck, I love his delivery, and she's actually acting in this scene. It's just this tiny scene in isolation that's so much more effective than everything else in the movie.
But as chat has pointed out, like even the terrible memeable aspects of the prequels are still better than anything in the sequels. There's a reason we can all quote these hilarious lines. It's because we do still kind of love them as bad as they are.
This is, you know what? This is a good example because
the Jedi are evil.
There's people out there that those lines worked on and turned, you turned her against me. Like that worked for someone out there. The Rose Tico shit in The Last Jedi, there's not a single person on the planet that took that seriously. It's not possible. So you just have those strict comparisons of just
you're not with me.
We don't kill what we hate. We don't fight what we hate. We save what we love.
Meanwhile,
blowing up the fight. And think about Finn. Think about the history of the legacy of Finn. What they did with his character in The Rise of Skywalker. How much better would John Boyega's Finn be if he died in The Last Jedi, sacrificing himself? We would have looked back at him so much better than we do now. That was it. He didn't do anything. What's he do
in the sequel? He goes,
that's my point. He becomes a meme in the second one. So they should have just had him die there.
I never told you, Ray, and then proceeds never to tell her.
Oh, God.
And then he fucking unlocks the Force randomly as they're riding space horses across the spaceship. Like, what the fuck is that? Oh, God. I was going to bring this up earlier when you were mentioning freezing the ratings. Didn't they freeze The Rise of Skywalker at 86 forever? Is it still frozen? Yeah. It's probably still stuck at 86.
I think it's still stuck at 86.
It was like 90, and you could see it ticking down like a timer. It was going 89, 88, 87.
One of the worst science fiction movies of all time, The Rise of Skywalker.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
It's a fucking mind.
Is indeed on 86% even today.
Wow, is that not incredible? How many years ago was that? Like 4 or 5 years, and it's not budged. How much more proof do you need?
Dark
There,
magic cloning.
Secrets only the Sith knew.
And that's it.
I'm warming up my shoulder for this, question. Getting geared up.
there are a shit ton of super chats to get to. If you guys,
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
field this one, Platoon Reaper? Who's going first?
Oh god.
yeah, someone else
Baratheon.
read. Yeah, that's for you guys.
Season 8 kind of ruined the Starks for me, so fuck all of them except Ned. House of the Dragon made the Targaryens significantly more appealing to me after really getting to see the entire like family dynamic and whatnot. So it might be the Targaryens, but shout out to House Mormons. They're all badasses. Every single one of them was cool.
Bobby
That's true.
Baratheon. That's my one.
The Baratheons are all Chads. They just have Chad blood, no matter what you can fucking do.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just so fucking Robert Baratheon. Yeah, I love the Baratheon they had in the finale of House of the Dragon. That dude, like they fucking nailed the casting. That is 100% Robert's fucking ancestor. Like just perfect. So that's one thing that show does really, really well. Understanding the traits of these characters, and like every Lannister, no matter, you can pull the clock back 200 years. Every Lannister is a smug cunt. Like you fucking have to. You know what? Hold on, I take that back. The Lannisters, man, I fucking love those bastards. Yeah, Lannisters. They're too entertaining.
Jaws Platoon.
I'd probably agree with the land. I mean, because I don't really have a favorite house as such, but I mean, because the houses are different than the people in them, obviously. But I'd probably go with the Lannisters. They just seem like the best realized and the most involved. So as a like a group, as a house which has its fingers in every pie, I think they're the best sort of drawn. I can see them working more than the others.
Even the lesser Lannisters, like Kevin and Lionel, are still like entertaining in their own way. Or Lancel Lannister, like him getting roasted by Robert is like one of my favorite fucking jokes that's ever happened in a show. Like, who named you some halfwit with a stutter? Like he just spent the entire scene getting drunk and just roasting him. It's just so great, man.
M8566 also says, first to the key. Sorry, TVG.
He's been beaten.
He has been. TGV Monster says, hi, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
And also says, I'm going to say it. Gunn doesn't know what he's doing. Pretty sure Peacemaker only exists to give his wife a job and watch her rail other dudes. He also says, what is everyone's favorite monster from a video game? I like Tyrant from Resident Evil 1 and Nemesis from RE3. That's a good question.
Monster from a video game.
I like Chaos from Sonic Adventure. There you go.
Diablo is pretty badass from Diablo 2. Like the monster itself is actually well designed. And
yeah, does the Lich King count as a monster from Warcraft? Because he was pretty cool.
Pocket monsters, yeah.
Does Mewtwo count from Pokemon?
Right. Yeah, I'd go with Mewtwo.
Thick-sized.
Mewtwo's awesome.
Mewtwo's got a real cool design to him, yeah.
Was it Gravemind from Halo is also pretty cool. He has an awesome design.
Yeah. The flood from Halo is pretty badass.
Are very cool monsters, yeah.
Shouted Bowser. Nice.
I have to give a shout out to Pyramid Head. He's such a cool design.
Good question.
Yeah, good question. The Bowser shout in the chat was
that's a good one.
Yeah. Taker610 says, I will not let you besmirch the good name of Sir Jared Leto. He is a bona fide box office juggernaut, the likes of which only Rachel Zegler can match.
Can I make a hot take? Is that allowed here?
Do
okay.
it.
I think Jared Leto is a competent actor. He just is in really shitty roles or is shittily directed.
I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah, like, what performances has he given that's like really good? Would you say
Dallas Buyers Club and Mr. Nobody?
he's a what's he in the Mr. Nobody? Because in Dallas Buyers Club, he's like a weird transsexual, isn't he?
Oh, so like Mr. Nobody, he's the main character, and it's sort of like a sci-fi romance film that transcends time. It's actually a very good movie. I do highly recommend it. But that's the movie that sold me on Jared Leto as an actor, just in general, when I saw that.
I thought it was only if he played like weird characters.
Oh, like that's the thing. Like he didn't always play just weird characters. That's just been like like after he started the band, like after 30 Seconds to Mars like took off with that second album, like just fame went straight to his head and he became really weird. But he wasn't really that weird beforehand. Oh yeah, Requiem for a Dream, he was good in that too.
Oh yeah. Well, it's obsession with being a method actor. Like in Joker, he was leaving like dead rats at people's like with the other actors.
I think it's his aura and reputation more than his actual talent, and you add bad direction on top of that.
There you
in
go.
addition to people do like making fun of him, like they just kind of like teasing him.
Like I think he had really good potential to be like an actual decent Joker, but the script and just the creative decisions made with the character were so terrible that everyone kind of sees past that.
That's just me. He's so shit that it's hard for people to even talk about it reasonably. But in terms of his design, I could have seen that working with a better portrayal and like a more serious take on the character. Like minus the fucking damage tattoo. Like I think a lot of it doesn't work because of the way he portrayed it.
Well, like could Heath Ledger make that look work? Where he's laughing and he's got a tattoo of his hand on his mouth on his hand.
See, right when you said that, his image in that is strictly tied to his Jared Leto's performance. You can't separate them; it's impossible.
Right.
So yeah, that's what makes it so difficult. And we have amazing examples like Joaquin's and Heath Ledger's to compare to. So it's so difficult. He's just stuck in the middle. But I'm kind of with you, Vex. I think there's a lot of things. If you reshuffle the dice on Jared Leto's Joker, we could have gotten something better than what we got. I don't think that was his maximum potential.
Yeah.
I don't think any version of him would have been better than Heath Ledger or Joaquin, though.
Sergeant Giratina says, afternoon, guys. Shame that the movie flopped. Another casualty of the DEI shifts in 2015. I don't know. It's not really the biggest problem of the movie.
Yeah, was that the biggest reason this failed? I don't think it was.
It's a fucking dumb movie.
It's everything else. I mean, it's still you've got the two like literal girl boss perfect characters who replace the Flynns as the head of NCOM and lead it to unprecedented success. There is an ingredient from that sort of DEI shift in there, but it's not the major problem with the movie.
I think we were talking about that offline briefly about how when there's any woke component to a movie, people, as soon as it's there, they'll treat it like it's the number one problem in the movie when it could be to the point where it's not even relevant when we're comparing it to all the other issues that are in the movie. Because I listened to you guys talk about it. It being woke wasn't the issue. It sounds like it's fucking stupid. That's the bigger problem.
Yeah, like if you made everyone NCOM white, it doesn't change the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, like in your entire like in your entire discussion of the movie, not once did any of you bring up something that was like woke or DEI related.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. Like the only thing you've got is Eve's a girl boss, and she's after her sister, who's even more better than her, but she's dead.
Yeah, like Ironheart's a good example. Woke as fuck. It's not why it was bad. It was shit. It was horribly written. Just everything about it was just garbage.
Alien Earth, another one. The DEI was not the problem there.
Well, that's what some things are shit, then they become woke, and the woke is used to cover up how awful it is, because a section of the fan base will come to its defense just because you put like a political message in it that they agree with, or it's a black lead, or it's a woman, or whatever.
Yeah.
Ruddy says Tron AIDS.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. James Busher says, the little platoon, did you see that Cape Verde CV qualified for the World Cup? And from that question, can you tell I didn't see Tron Aries or Peacemaker Season 2?
I think I'd have preferred to have seen Cape Verde qualify for the World Cup, but unfortunately I did see Tron Aries and Peacemaker Season 2.
Big T asks, was Tron even mentioned in Aries? No.
Nope. Not a single mention.
Really?
He's no longer a part of his own franchise.
It's like The Witcher. Just getting
Yeah.
completely left behind.
Toivo Corhonen says, idea for BSUP 100, celebrity roast. Just pick a bunch of pictures of celebrities and roast them like marshmallows. You can ask chat to suggest celebrities, and Reaper must be present. My personal suggestion is Greta Thunberg.
Christ, that'll be probably the first stream we do that's ever taken down while live. But it could be fun.
Is she still being like arrested by Israel, or is she like not? Is she let go?
Well, no, she got out within, I think it was within 16 hours, because she did that thing where like she was on that stupid flotilla with a bunch of hippies, and they lobbed their phones into the sea, and then they were taken into a prison, I think, for 16 hours. One of the activists said that they'd been tortured and they'd done unspeakable things to poor little Greta, and then of course she's in front of the cameras within 16 hours, being her usual autistically fine self. So it's just absolute, like, you have to try really hard to believe the bullshit that came out of all of that. And I'm not willing to put in the effort.
I remember they said they set the ship on fire, and then the real footage was a flare misshot. One of their own flares hit the boat.
Oh my goodness!
But they're going like, the Israel's blowing us up, and he weren't. It was their own incompetence because one of them can't fire a flare gun. It would be funny though if Greta Thunberg was like tied to a chair and like electrocuted.
Well, he said stuff like they dragged her by the hair and done unspeakable things. It's like, what? Yeah, it would be funny if they had. I agree. She's incredibly irritating. Also, someone else put a post saying like, I'm done with Taylor Swift. Like, this is my ideal of female empowerment, and it's Greta Thunberg. So, well, fuck it. If your idea of female empowerment is Asperger's syndrome, then fair enough. But I think some of us hold higher standards.
Unreasonable asshole is like peak empowerment. I don't get that.
You should put that on a t-shirt, Platoon.
I just love the whole, how dare you, she just does that to everyone. And the guy just shoots her. Didn't the guy from Game of Thrones, the Onion Knight, what's his name?
Davos, he said he was going on it, but then he never actually went on it. He stayed in Ireland. So
he should have brought loads of onions with him and just played the character.
That would have been very funny. I'd have supported that. That's the kind of
I love his
I can
backstory.
get behind.
I actually love his backstory. How he just, Stannis and his crew were stuck for like years during a siege or some shit, and he just happens to be rolling by with his onions and he saves them. That's how he became Stannis' right hand man. That's how it went, right, Platoon?
You should have told the story.
Yeah.
Greta was starving, and I showed her with onions to save her.
It's just such a humble backstory. I'm just like, I love it. The little conversation they have before the Battle of Blackwater and just explaining it. It's just, that's how you do exposition, a natural conversation between two people that would actually take place, and we get so much of their history so like naturally, rather than the stupid fucking rant that you showed me in Tron earlier. Just, I hate crappy exposition, man. Just melts my bones.
Bonesaw is ready asks, better CEO, the Tron villain or Boy Cavalier?
I mean, it's hard because they're basically the same.
Well, Boy Cavalier has a lot more things going wrong.
I was going to say, like, we know that Boy Cavalier's company doesn't even really make it into the future because it doesn't exist in any of the other Alien canons. So wouldn't the Tron CEO by default be better?
But then his company sort of gets, the police finally at the end of the movie realize, oh shit, we've seen all this technology before, and they go and raid it, and then he escapes into his own grid and becomes Sark from the first movie. So I think the implication is that company ain't going to exist after either.
Interesting.
He actually can get stuff made temporarily, like the 29-minute thing notwithstanding. He does succeed in getting, these creatures from the grid, but then Boy Cavalier succeeds in putting the minds of children into robot body. I don't know. They are the same. I don't think I can choose between them. Yeah,
they put no safety precautions in either one. Both of them can turn against their masters. It's the same problem.
That's so stupid.
Razor Hammond says, for Platoon, they say that all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Samoa Joe and you can see that statement is not true.
You say that like I should know who Samoa Joe is.
Samoa Joe is an enormous Samoan professional wrestler.
I gathered that he was Samoan, yes, but I didn't know he was a wrestler.
I just wanted to drive the point home because you can look at him and know he's Samoan, yet he decided to put it in his fucking name. Hardy Boy is in the Phantom of the Film Actors Guild says, Platoon, with the current goblin genocide, what are your thoughts on dwarvish claims that 6 million died in Moria, even though the Balrog fire isn't hot enough to melt Mithril?
I heard no elves turned up to work that day as well.
Jonathan Frost says, is it true the dialogue is just exposition and restating the plot? I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
In Disney, like fucking
Yep.
pretty much. Dialogue is it's a dying art form. It should be something where like you're 90 minutes into a movie, you have a question and you realize the answer is in your head because the dialogue was subtle enough to incorporate it. Subtext, proper, it's just conversations that should happen organically. So you have the information to something that you're going to need later. And it's like a reward for people paying attention rather than making it so fucking explicit that you just want to roll your eyes. Like, okay, I get it. That type of thing. It's always way more enjoyable to be able to give someone the tools to figure it out than just tell them the fucking answer. And that's what shitty writing does. It tells you exactly everything.
At least you used to get overacting, like they're eating her, then they're gonna eat me. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
You can at least enjoy it for how awful the acting was, but you don't even get that now. It's so plain and flat and lifeless.
Big T asks, which was better, Morbius or Tron Aries?
I haven't seen Morbius in ages. I think Morbius might be more fun.
It was more enjoyable. Yeah. Yep. Anyone else?
Morbius.
Haven't seen Tron Aries, so I can't comment.
I haven't seen either of them.
All right, so 3 out of 3 then for Morbius.
You can't tell Cynic off for not having seen Game of Thrones when you haven't seen Morbius, which is just as culturally relevant.
What?
True.
8 seasons of one of the greatest shows there should have been versus fucking Morbius. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out just because it's technically vampire content. So does it count Vex or is it trash?
It's actually trash. Like even as vampire content, there's nothing redeemable there.
Yeah.
Well, Morbius was so popular, it memed itself back into the cinema where it made no money.
Yeah, it flopped, and then memes started, so they released it, and then it flopped again in the theaters. So, I mean, it's worth watching just to see what all the morbid hype was for.
If it's anything like Madam Web, like even close, then I'd check it out for sure.
It's on the same level. I would say it's on the same level. Yeah, it takes itself a little more seriously than Madam Web, though.
Big T also asks, which is better, 2012 to 23 DC Universe, James Gunn's DC Universe, or the CW's Arrowverse?
I haven't seen any of the Arrowverse. I think it's too soon to say about James Gunnverse. It will have to be awful to be worse than the 2012 to 23 DCU, but it's off to a terrible start.
I think the Arrowverse was just Green Arrow, and then it just went off a cliff. And he was doing like multiverse events and everything with like 5 people in a park.
Oh, they did the Crisis on Infinite-ism, didn't they? I think that was part of that.
There's like 6 of them just shooting their hands up in the air, and that stops the multiverse from dying.
Where does Smallville fit into all that? Because that was pretty much successful from what I remember.
I thought that wasn't part of. I don't think that was part of the Arrowverse, was it?
No,
I don't think so.
That's probably with all this verse.
Well, there's a cameo. He gets a cameo in the Crisis on Infinite-ism. I only know because I've seen the EFAB coverage. So the Smallville's actor is in it briefly, and he punches Lex Luthor in the face when Lex is trying to read from the book of whatever the fuck. It's quite funny. But
Smallville
I don't think it's
predates all
technically
that.
part. Yeah, it does predate. It was back in the days when TV could be good.
Yeah, but that's part of the reason it's like this forgotten like aspect of Superman's history, because everybody thinks of the CW era as like they think of things in terms of verses, and if it's not connected to this multiverse or this universe or whatnot, it doesn't count. When some of the best stuff are some of the best superhero media is the stuff that's separated, like how Daredevil was before they've like attached it to Disney now, and Smallville just existed in its own universe that was actually really effective. Now everything is forced together, and the quality just drops completely.
Didn't the Arrowverse have Kevin Conroy play a live-action Batman, and then they murdered him?
Yep.
The first time ever he played it, and he's evil.
Yeah,
they kill him. They just murder him.
Papa Pumpkin says Superman made me pro gun control.
Oh yeah, and Smallville had one of the most catchy intros ever. Holy hell.
Joke of all butts says, "Duck you, Reaper, you lesbian biker. Cynic, you're gay AF. Brooks, I'm sure you're a fruit too. Platoon, you are okay. And Vex, the only guy I respect. Heart."
No.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't call me a woman in that comment. Thank you.
If you want to send me money to call me gay, please send me money. Jackson Vohe says Batman survived a fall from orbit with no gear.
Did he?
Wait, in
What is that in reference to?
I don't know. I'm sure a comic book.
Probably CW or something like.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that was in reference to like the expanded universe and tie-ins and how even the comic books aren't even necessarily consistent.
Well, it's like Cynic was saying, there's so many different versions of the comics, so they're not consistent in terms of what they're adapting, and they just expect you to understand.
Intent Matter says, "Hey guys, you should bring the woke critic to BSUP as a guest sometime. He's a smaller YouTuber who does great satire of woke movies and TV shows. Cheers." Yeah, I tried to get him on before. We did speak. I kind of lost touch since then. It was like probably a year ago, but he was busy at the time. But thanks for the reminder. I'll reach out to him again and see if I can get him on.
I think I've seen some of his Rings of Power videos. Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, he's funny. He is a good shout. Jackson Vohe says Predator has a Dave Filoni type in charge. We're screwed.
Is Dan Trachtenberg Dave Filoni in this comparison? Is that it?
Does he have a cowboy hat? That's how he reproduces. He just puts a cowboy hat on people and he starts thinking like Dave Filoni. What's that?
That's just the hat.
On Futurama, that eyeball alien that eats your brain.
You say eyeball alien, I think of Alien Earth right off the bat. Tentacle
it's on Futurama when he put it on everyone's heads and everyone turns into like a slave.
No, it's been too long for Futurama.
Your mom says, "Any theories on why Jared Leto's still employed?"
I think it's just a leftover. Yeah, he also buys into everything, and you know he likes scooping up young people like most Hollywood execs do.
Yeah,
so
he does.
I mean, this has got to like kill his career.
You say that, but he's in constantly shitty movies. He's not a box office draw, yet he still gets work.
And like the mainstream audiences know about what he's been doing in his public, like his private life. On top of that,
well,
so
do they?
I would say like because there's a lot of content that's been leaking on YouTube, on Twitter, on just like Reddit threads of people discussing Jared Leto's like weird private life for years, like predating this weird push that he's had recently in Hollywood. So I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was an executive producer on Tron Aries.
Yeah.
Oh, he's invested in an AI company too with some heavy hitters.
So he wants to live forever.
He's put money in and went, "I'm going to be the star."
Big T asks, "Is there any actor or director that deserves or earned redemption, like the ones from Drinkers Crash and Burn Eps?"
RDJ, he's a great example.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the best examples.
Yeah, RDJ for sure. Nicolas Cage as well.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he's always been more talented than his movies would lead you to believe.
Well, yeah, he was getting a bad rep because not because of what he was doing to people or anything in his personal life. He was just spending money like crazy, so he was making horrible movies. So he kind of had a fallout. I know this because I do a Celebrity Self-Destruct series that came out before Drinkers, by the way. And and so he's on my next one. And yeah, he had a huge falling out because of the fact that he had to make bad movies to pay off like $20 million in a tax burden. And so it really destroyed his reputation. But I think he's having a huge comeback because he is quite talented when you strip away all the crazy.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't think he ever lost any like respect in the general entertainment. Well, at least for viewers, right? For people that consume media. I don't know about the other end.
You took it out of my mouth, Reaper. Who probably who has the talent to potentially have a comeback? Someone like Whedon or Kevin Spacey? Who's more likely to make a comeback?
Oh, don't bring Kevin Spacey back. No, he doesn't.
Well, they're both
deserve
talented. They're both talented. That's
He
why
is
I'm talking
good.
about it.
He's
Yeah.
a good
He's
actor.
very good. It does so good. And we had this
Excellent.
conversation weeks and weeks ago, but in the eyes of the law, he is an innocent man. Unless you're in favor of effectively public pressure campaigns in the court of public opinion deciding these matters, it's kind of an extension of free speech principles that, like, if you are actually innocent in the eyes of the law, nothing has been proven against you. People can believe what they want, but you shouldn't be prohibited from working. Mel Gibson kind of similarly, but like that's a different principle. I know it's been mentioned in chat. That's like that is the right to be a complete nutter and a freak, but within the bounds of the law. And again, you should be allowed to work. We've got a little bit too much of the old "you're mildly stepping out of line, so therefore we're going to get rid of you forever."
Mhm.
To be fair, in Kevin Spacey's case, he's only innocent in the eyes of the law because everyone that was going to testify
It's like
against
murder.
him died. Yeah. So, like, I mean, that's the only reason I would say don't bring Spacey back. But I agree with Mel Gibson. Let Mel Gibson have some redemption.
Harvey Weinstein, because his movies are good.
We wouldn't have had Lord of the Rings if it wasn't for Weinstein. If it's like it wasn't for him, like we wouldn't have had the Lord of the Rings.
Good Will Hunting wouldn't have happened.
Neither would have the Matrix, right? Or no, that's a Joel Silver.
Lord of the Rings as well.
Yeah, that's right. Just motherfucker.
Oh
Just-
yeah.
just said,
Oh yeah. If he's responsible for Lord of the Rings, yeah, let him out.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've said like
Must.
rape for anyone you want. Like how many times we would have
Whoa!
lost the greatest trilogy of all time.
That's
Like,
a get
come
out
on.
of jail free card. He should have got 3
Literally.
of them for each film.
Honestly, get a pass just because of that.
I'll give him 3 passes per movie. They're that good. 3 crimes you get to commit and you get out.
Big T says, Cynic too swift. Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
It's your letter to her.
Mm.
Your text.
I like the Office reference. Thank you. Wiz Nilly P says, Olivia Rodrigo, she is Deli, a person of color and nearly as vapid as Swift.
She doesn't have nearly the same cultural impact as Swift does,
No,
though. Like I can
no
see,
way.
like they keep trying to churn out like some of these TikTok girls and everything as like the next Taylor Swift, and they just don't land. I would say the closest one right now is probably Sabrina Carpenter.
I hate that.
She did a song with her. You know why I know that? Because I was forced to watch that fucking thing. in the theater.
I hate that in pop culture. I hate it in sports. I hate when anyone's like, "Oh, this person's the next this," but like, has it ever happened ever? Like, it's just never a great setup for someone to have a successful career. Trying to pin them to someone else.
Well, Taylor Swift is still there. So like she's still like a black hole sucking in all the attention until she like dissipates and goes away. You won't know who'll take her space.
Your mom says, how many bananas do you suppose it took to stuff said strippers? Can't imagine just one would be enough. It was probably like playing Chubby Bunny. What the fuck? Good. That was in reference to Lizzo's activities.
Lizzo, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need at least 3 for each hole.
Jesus.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Once you get to 8, we call that the spider. Big T says, Assassin's Creed Civil War reminds me. What was Gamergate? Comment section, go.
Oh, yeah. How did Gamergate start? It was some woman fucking a journalist for fake review scores.
Pretty much, yeah. And then she went and started a cancel campaign against him, accusing him of a bunch of stuff. And it blew just wide open that people were paying for reviews or that you could like publish false reviews. And he ended up offing himself, if I remember, because of everything. And then, there we go. Yeah. And then that's the time when like Anita Sarkeesian blew up as well. So that was Gamergate. I don't think there was a Gamergate 2 personally.
I've heard Gamergate referenced like dozens of times since I've been on YouTube. I don't know what the fuck it is. I didn't know any of those details. I need to like
that's the basic summary of it, right? Is like
there's got to be like a really intense video that goes over every detail of it.
You can find it, yeah. But yeah, this chick
one.
slept with this dude at a big like site for for reviews to get a better like score or review on her game. And then that kind of blew open a whole door on gaming journalism. And then she started accusing him of stuff. What Zoe something was her name?
Quinn.
Thank you, Zoe Quinn. She got a huge career boost out of it. She made like millions of dollars doing like these weird feminist like gaming podcasts and stuff like that. And then he offed himself a couple of years later, and she kind of faded into irrelevance.
And that was the fun times, weren't it? Where games just fucking fell off a cliff.
Right. That was like over 10 years ago. That was like 2014, I think it was, or 2013.
Yeah.
Because I remember saying that when Feminist Frequency was Sarkeesian's thing, and it closed down
Yeah.
last year or the year before, and lots of people were sort of laughing at it and celebrating. So it didn't close down because it failed. It closed down because it won. Like that is now the default perception of virtually every major gaming outlet, and it's significantly embedded itself in games studios and development teams as well. Like she was very effective at what she did, and then she was outcompeted by people putting that into practice more effectively than she could. So it's a little bit of a long road back, but we're starting together.
She's like Alexander the Great, but with games. She conquered everything. She came, she saw, she queefed on everything, and now everything's feminist.
Lance says the next Mortal Kombat movie needs to have Shao Kahn, and he must win to set up the merger of Earthrealm and Outworld for the sequel.
He is in it. I think in the
I saw
trailer,
the preview of him.
Clip of Katana like cutting his face. I'm like, she best not beat him.
Oh, that would piss me off.
Yeah.
Although Cole beat fucking Goro in the last movie.
Yeah,
so.
but that was so
there's an
lame.
actual clip in the trailer. If you pause it, she's doing this spin fan thing, and it's like you can on his mask, and you can see all the sparks coming off.
No.
So I hope she doesn't like cut him in half, and like she gets the kill because that sucks.
These movies seem to be pretty self-aware of what they are, and maybe they're teasing that for a proper payoff. Because I remember holding my breath when I thought Captain Marvel was going to beat Thanos, and he punched that bitch in the face, and the audience fucking cheered.
Yeah,
so
that was awesome.
You never know. Sometimes they're aware.
Fresh RC says Ish's 1,000 players simulate civilization, rich and poor video is the better Minecraft movie. The plot and characters are better written too.
I'll have to check that
Not
out.
Of it.
Never heard of that either. Paul Hauser says, will Mortal Kombat force Street Fighter to recast? Fuck no, we got all the wrestlers in Street Fighter. That's how we're rolling. Cody Rhodes is Guile.
Isn't Jason Momoa in the Street Fighter movie? Didn't he get cast?
Roman Reigns is playing the character that you probably think is Jason Momoa's character.
Hold on. No, there was someone that was cast in the Street Fighter movie that like people didn't like. I'm trying to...
Well, Roman Reigns is Akuma. Cody Rhodes is Guile. Haven't he got like? Sorry,
Jason Momoa is Blanca.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there we go.
That's the one casting I'm kind of invested in. I would be cool to see a live action Akuma done well. I don't think they can.
I thought you said Roman Reigns is a Coomer.
Cammy, they could actually do that. Cammy with those thighs and the painting and everything and her hair. You could do some of those.
50 Cent is Balrog.
Balrog. Actually, he does look like Balrog.
But he's about 50.
Gotta work. That is true.
Cody Loads.
Which do you like more, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighters? Just off the top of your head.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Yeah, I think the horror aspect to it kills it for me.
The gore, bro.
Yeah.
What was the Street Fighter movie, the one they made, and there's almost no fighting in it?
It's so lame. It's guys walking around in geese. It's so incredibly lame.
What was the one in the 90s who plays the main bad guy? That guy went all out.
Yeah. The villain, he tried. He's the only one acting.
Then you have Jean-Claude.
You have Jean-Claude Van Damme playing Guile, and no one else gives a fuck.
So Jean-Claude Van Damme was like all hopped up on coke during the filming of that movie, and the guy who was playing the villain was dying of cancer, so he fucking went all out for that movie. And he put in a really good performance, honestly.
Dang.
Well, he said he did it because his son was a massive fan of the franchise. Then he said his son thought the movie sucked.
That really does suck.
And then he died. What a miserable end.
What a terrible way to go.
Oh, fuck. Wisnilly P says Reaper 7-7 or TLJ.
Didn't like 50 people die or something during 7-7? One part of me wants to say TLJ, the moral part, but I'd probably go 7-7.
Sinami asks me, finish those comics yet, buddy? Got season 8. Game of Thrones season 8's got the lube ready. I did promise Reaper that I would watch the first 2 episodes of Game of Thrones if he finally got Discord so we could have a BSUP chat. And he did it. So now I need to do it.
No, you absolutely have to.
Because
you promised us beforehand anyway, but I guess if Reaper promised it, then...
Yeah, Reaper's had a Discord for like a week now, man.
That's true.
Finally,
I got tied up with Tron Aries, and that is finished now. So,
well, for the record, it's got a phenomenal pilot episode. It's not one of those things like, oh, I gotta. You'll be modern. Right. You should be intrigued from the very, very beginning, even if you're not a big fantasy guy. It's Game of Thrones will basically be like, if you like fantasy and that type of thing, you will be all on board. You will be like, you know that you're getting plugged for like the next 3 seasons. You're not going anywhere. But at the very least, you'll be intrigued by the drama. And I, like me and Platoon were mentioning before, I feel like if you get to particularly Jon Snow and Ygritte, if you're watching with Amy, it's a wrap from there. Like as a couple, it's impossible to watch that and not continue their story. You just can't.
Well,
Rebel Rose said, I'll be happy with Game of Thrones until I'm not. So yeah,
that's the only way to pretty much.
But you've got Knight of the Seven Kingdoms coming out in, was it January?
January, I think, yeah.
January, yeah.
Are we doing the trailer?
Probably not today, but...
Not today.
Looks good.
It does. I'm looking forward to that one.
It doesn't feel like... If you said Game of Thrones, I'd say no, other than the production value. Because it's a lot more upbeat and classical.
Well, there's elements that are like that in House of the Dragon, but we're focusing on characters that are going through more dramatic and like intense things. But it's as long as it's within the world, there's a lot of things you can play with in terms of the references. Like even the opening line at the beginning, like him asking if he's Baelor, like just from that alone, we can get an idea of what time in history this is and just what things should be doing. My biggest concern is, are we going to get spoilers for House of the Dragon in this? Because they're kind of loose with all this. Like even Game of Thrones technically spoils House of the Dragon. Joffrey says what happens to Rhaenyra, like describes her ending. And it's in my head somewhere, and I don't want to recall it because I want to get as fresh of an ending as possible, right? So I just hope there isn't too much spoiling going on with the way they have the continuity.
They all die because the 100 years in the past. So if you think of it like that, they're already dead. So it doesn't matter how they die.
Well, no, but in terms of the ending, like literally, however House of the Dragon ends, I would like to watch it fresh. Well, but technically, I know the answer because Joffrey spoiled it before the show even existed.
Has George finished the Dunk and Egg series? Because these are based on books, aren't they?
There are 2 more still to come, as is always the case with George R. R. Martin. 2 more books. I like the ones I've read.
Fucker. Why can't he finish anything?
So we're gonna get like an original ending because this will be popular. Is he going to tell them and then they're going to do it poorly like the Game of Thrones? Or
like in theory, these should be so much quicker and easier to write, though. They're shorter and they're simpler and they're more uplifting and there's way fewer moving pieces. He could finish these quite quickly. I was reading a thing about, because I think he commented at some fan expo recently about Winds of Winter and said like delays have always been a thing. Back when he was writing something in like 1993 for an anthology series, the guy in charge basically threatened to sack him if he missed his deadline, because if he missed his deadline, then the funders would pull some money out. And he's like, well, I've still got till the end of the year. And he submitted it on the very last day. But what that tells me is he actually needs external pressure. He needs someone to sit around him and say, you have to finish it by this point, because otherwise he just procrastinates forever.
Well, he says his writing style's a gardener. Like he'll fuck around here, then fuck around there.
Yeah.
And you do need someone to let, because it's the big problem with artists.
Yeah,
you just go, this is good enough, get it out.
Creativity needs to be matched with discipline. I even say this to myself all the fucking time. It's something that you need to do. But when you're George R. Martin and you got the entire world waiting for you to finish one of the most popular stories ever, there's a responsibility you should have to his fan base, and he just doesn't have it. It's part of that thing of like finding success in like your 60s or 70s, like he does. He's just done. He's tired. He's 1 foot in the grave and he's enjoying it while he's still here. It's just, who gives a fuck? You know,
like women are actually touching him for the first time voluntarily.
Yes.
I mean, what does that do to a nerd?
Yes. Like a Whedon, like that's the classic story with him, where like he was just this fucking weirdo, but then he's famous for the first time. He just had to, right? George R. Martin's probably the same thing. He's cheating on his wife. He's probably got a coke habit we don't know about. There's probably so many reasons why he's not finishing these books. It's just you find success that late. It's just tricky to lock it down.
He probably has finished all these books. He's just too afraid to put anything out.
I hope he's just fucking with all of us. They're all finished, and he's gonna release them after his death and like make even more money off of that or something. I just don't want it to be like, okay, like one of the most interesting stories I've ever seen in my whole life, as someone who's addicted to stories, will never have a proper ending. Damn. It's a pretty sad thing. But hopefully we'll get something, I think Winds of Winter, possibly, but A Dream of Spring is like no. That's a dream. It's an actual dream. It's just
Big T with more Game of Thrones talk says Jedi and crew. Game of Thrones reminds me. Aaron had a great ending in AOT, and Gabby was Chad.
No, he didn't.
No, she wasn't.
Well, I think this is all sarcasm. Godzilla X Kong,
clearly.
Cinema, Night Country deserve the awards. Taylor Swift is an artist.
This is tilt juice. This is just fucking with us.
Rage bait.
Yeah.
One might call that rage bait. Gorachero says Little Platoon ought to change his name to Little Hat after last week's After Dark, but seriously, thank you for shutting the conspiracies down.
I liked how Platoon's answer was just, you don't read reports.
I don't know. Yeah.
That was one specific answer. There were other answers about the design of Building 7.
A lot happened when I was gone for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But it was fine because it was on your channel, so I didn't care. But it's just, yeah. It's just interesting. It's if you trace a load of these stories back and you find that they originate in like Jordanian newspapers and then get amplified through Turkey, which is where the Jews didn't turn up for work story came from, then there is a conspiracy, but it's just people quite willing to believe the most base propaganda of the Arabs.
That's why I don't touch on any of those things, because there's just too much there. I don't know what's true and what's not. I just look at it.
Yeah. Oh, as a welder, those metal bars won't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just looking at it in terms of just metal, it just doesn't look natural to me. So I just stick to that point of like, that doesn't function with what I know.
Why don't you elaborate since we're on his
No, fuck it, move on. There's more super chats to get to. It's all good.
Yeah.
Vanessa says, hello everyone. Question: would you rather be tortured with Ironheart or She-Hulk?
More is the question, more like a season 2?
Yeah. I hope it's season 2, yeah.
Well, I thought She-Hulk got confirmed for season 2. It's filming right now, isn't it?
No.
Is it? No,
neither of these shows.
Tatiana Maslany came out and slagged Kevin Feige off, and then she tried to say, I really loved working on it, and then she didn't get a job, and so she slagged him off again.
Yep.
Okay.
Is that not? Hold on, I just want to address that. That's literally what I just said. This is what I mean about selective hearing with streaming. Jedi, aren't you the one who said the tower is falling did look natural? Did I not say that like 90 seconds ago? like word for word. Yes, that's what I mean. Like, it's this. Hear me out here. Yeah, because my whole point was I don't know. There's so many other aspects of it, like Platoon was mentioning. So I try not to get into that because I talk out of my ass. I just look at that and I just say it doesn't look natural to me. That's kind of as far as I take it.
I just go off vibes. I go, I'll go to a mass grave and go, nah, don't believe this.
Nah.
Overwhelming evidence, no.
Yeah.
I just stick with, I wasn't a fan of 9/11. James Butcher says, y'all seen how badly The Rock's movie is bombed? Yes.
Yeah,
and I actually got pulled out of the movie. I was sitting ready to watch the movie yesterday, and my editor messaged me that he needed something, so I left the fucking theater to go do my job instead of doing my job of watching a movie. But I'm going back Wednesday to see it before it's completely pulled out of theaters, because it has bombed off the face of the earth. It's doing so bad.
I feel bad for him. You waited too long, bro. You could have did this like 15 years ago and tried to do some serious movies, but you fucked around with your stupid shit. And here
this
we are.
Isn't made to make money. This is just an Oscar bait kind of thing.
But he still wants, ideally though, he wants as many eyes on his skilled project as possible, right? He wants people to see him taking this shit seriously. So it means something to him. Like me and Cynic probably know even better. The Rock's ego is like the size of a mountain. It's
the
fucking
size
massive.
of a giant rock.
Yeah, it's so this is a blow to him. Between this and Black Adam, his career is like, whew.
He is coming back to wrestling, baby. Those roids are going to be injected into his fucking eyeballs.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Hardy Boys and the Phantom of the Film Actors Guild says, with the recent Gondorian invasion of Mordor, is anyone surprised that Dwarf Pack is the steward's biggest financial contributor?
If you don't count the Elvish Teachers Union, that is true.
This channel's all become code word for stuff.
Subtext and rage bait, man.
Sean Calloway says, find someone that believes in you like movie studios believe in Jared Leto.
Well, he paid to put himself in the movie, so it's him believing in himself.
Yeah, Jared Leto believes in Leto for sure.
That's all he needs.
My favorite performance is American Psycho, when he gets the axe to the head.
Right to the face. Hey, Paul!
Try getting a reservation at Dorsia now. Sorry, I know the whole. Sorry.
I do too. You stupid bastard! Oh my god. Hey, Alan, what is this? You got like a little. What's with the newspaper? You got a little
chow.
dog, a little chow or something.
No, Alan. Is that a raincoat? Why, it is.
Yes, it is. Editman RGG2 says Tron ass. Yes.
Probably would have been better than Tron Aries, to be honest.
Yeah, still have yet to hear a single good thing about it throughout the whole discussion, and a single compliment.
The music is bombastic is the only thing I can say. And I don't know if that's a compliment. It just is. The one Ginger Draven says, has anyone seen the newish MK animated movies? I've seen one of them. They're not high art, but just some dumb, fun action adult cartoons that I recommend. BSUP is the BSUP. And yet, the one I watched is one of, I think, 2 or 3, but it's pretty entertaining. It's called Scorpion's Revenge, and it's pretty good.
Okay.
Yep. I watched, I think it's Snowblinds, which is Tenshi meets an older Sub-Zero who trains him. But somehow with his freezing powers, he goes back in time, or I don't know what the fuck that was about.
We won't talk about
that. Are they like side stories type of thing?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, that sounds like a side story. Scorpion's Revenge leads into an actual Mortal Kombat tournament, and it's like what the 2021 movie should have been, honestly. It would have been pretty sweet.
Yeah, if they just focus on the right characters, create a cool little story.
Usually the problem.
Get the action and the gore right.
Yep. But that does do it for all the super chats. So I'll go around and thank the panel as the show comes to a close. Mr. Brooks, thanks for being here as always. And what are you up to next, good sir?
So got my Alien Earth video out there. I fucking was sick of that show. I'm going to be moving on to the next project soon. Probably something more horror related since it's October. But for anyone who hasn't seen it, go check that video out. Worked pretty hard on it.
Right on. And what about you, Vex? Where are you going to be?
Thank you for having me on. I wasn't even going to stay the whole time because it's Thanksgiving up here. But
oh, right. I forget about that.
Here I am.
Totally forgot.
We haven't had any turkey.
I'll be on The Plot Strikes Back tomorrow reviewing episode 2 of Terminalist Dark Wolf, which is a very good series. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, you don't have to have watched the first Terminalist series to understand it, so you're good. I've just been busy with editing, man, so I don't know when I'll have a video out.
All right. Yeah. No, well, thanks for hopping on. I know you didn't have to, so really appreciate it. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. I'm still hung up on there's a 29-minute timer to catch a woman. I feel like there is a genuine movie that you can actually build off of that would be kind of funny. Maybe you have like a Ted Bundy-esque character as the main guy. I don't know. Ideas.
The main characters are all male virgins and they will explode after 29 minutes if they haven't got a woman.
And Reaper, thanks for being here, man. And are you releasing any content to finally get you over that 100K hump?
I don't know. I might just chill at 99 forever.
There you go. Why not?
I'll finish my Alien ones. I've got them finished.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah. Put those up. I'll watch them. You'll get one view.
Thank you.
And little Platoon, thanks for being on your own show with me.
Yeah, thank you for having me on my show. It's great. Yeah, what even is coming? I've said yes to a few too many things this month, so now I have to somehow turn around 6 videos, which, given it normally takes me a month to make one, is going to be interesting. So it's going to be some shorter stuff coming out. Tron Aries is getting a short-ish one, but main channel, which will hopefully be out this week. Little Superman highlight on the second channel will be out this week. Alien Earth will probably get something at some point. Might do something second channel wise on like the billionaire problem in Hollywood, which was mentioned earlier. There's something else which I was going to do. Probably going to check out those K-pop Demon Hunters and Demon Slayer, because they seem to have been the most successful things ever, and nobody's really spoken about them, and I kind of want to check them out. So all of that somehow has to come before the end of October, and after that I will go back to having nothing to do, and then I will do June, maybe. I don't know.
Well, then, that sounds like a lot of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you plan to sleep?
No. Not at least until
enough.
November.
Do you plan on bitch slapping your editor for that fucking mistake?
We quit, so I can't.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez. Left your dogs and dipped out.
Well, I'm not loaning out mine. He's in
You can't get like a Chinese sweatshop full of kids to do it.
It makes it even better because Bagface is black. I'm not
That's
lending
right.
my slave.
Can't have mine.
Cannot have my slave. I'm not lending my slave to you.
It's James Gunn, man. James Gunn Superman just breaks people. Fucking editor.
That is actually what did it, yeah. He just had to spend so long looking at that fucking awful movie that he'd had enough.
Called it quits. Fuck. And as for me, a Tron Aries review is dropping tomorrow. It was supposed to be today, but I don't know. My editor made some sort of excuse that he has food poisoning or something. I don't know.
He's dead.
He's probably dead.
Go to your deathbed or get this shit out, bro.
Well, I didn't accept that as an answer, so he was editing today.
Dang.
I'm not kidding. So he might be dead, but at least my video will be done. So.
All right.
Oh, and one more super chat came in. Tsunami says, "That's not it with supers. You're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes." Yeah, Bonesaw is ready.
Rest in peace, Macho Man.
Yes, rest in peace there. He was the cream of the crop. All right. I guess that'll do it for this episode of BSUP. There is no After Dark today. Blame Platoon for that one. Not anyone else, not me. Blame Platoon.
Yeah, I have to go and do work. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Not that Cynic would know what that's like, but you know, some of us have to do it.
Someone's got to do it, I guess. Whatever. That's why I have a video editor. Just pay him to do most of the work. But thanks for the chat. You guys are always on fire. Really appreciate you guys. Everyone who's sending super chats, you guys are amazing. And that'll do it for this episode of BSUP. We will see you all next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Toodles.
Bye.
Fuck you.